Welcome to the You Know Ball podcast, free agency extraordinary edition. I am your host, Troll Bro Dude 2. We lost the first Troll Bro Dude. He was murdered. So we got a lot to talk about on the podcast today. So we'll start with the big trade news. Mitch Marner of the Toronto Maple Leafs heading to Vegas and the Golden Knights in a huge blockbuster deal. Okay, I'm hearing wrong sport. Okay. All right. So Jalen Ramsey traded again. The Pittsburgh Steelers, the rich get richer. Their defense is really going to shine something. Oh, God damn, dude. All right. Well, we'll just have to talk about the shitty old NBA then. And great. Here comes the murdered guy. Trill, I shot you 7 times. How are you alive?
I was actually brought back to life by the Sonos Ace headphones that I received as a free gift from my close personal friend, the corporation Sonos. What's that?
But maybe I'm wrong. No. That's my fault. Never mind.
I was like, hold on. Everyone in chat can hear me. Can Sam hear me?
Yeah, no. It's fine.
Okay, we're good now?
We're good now. Off to a great start.
No, they literally just sent me they said, here's a free thing. And I said, I will take the free thing. And now I'm wearing them. They're really nice. So no complaints.
This is, look, if you
George Sonos. Yes, exactly.
George Sonos.
My close personal friend,
George Sonos.
George Sonos. The socialist headphone company.
Sonos.
Also a comically large cup that my mom gave me, so I'll be hydrated throughout the slop stream here. I mean, we're gonna need it because there's gonna be no real. Remember last year we did this, and there was nothing, and then this year there's even less people that could potentially be on the move in free agency.
It's all trades, right? That's all we're expecting today. I feel like there's not really anyone who can sign.
There are people that we'll get Dorian Finney-Smith to the Rockets, and we'll get a few veterans minimum contracts, I'm sure. But I don't think there's anything that's major that's going to happen on here. I don't think that there's Shams is trying to hype it up. He's a snake oil salesman. I feel like we would have heard stuff if there was really things happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All of them are saying it though. Jake Fisher was saying that there was stuff coming. You know what I'm saying?
What did he say though?
He didn't say anything in particular, but he was kind of implying hearing a lot of stuff, but I agree with you because I just don't think. Here's what happened. We had a lot of shit before the deadline this year because everybody is re-signing with their teams because there's no cap space. So,
and we had more trades than ever before the draft and during the draft.
Yeah, exactly. There was movement. What I feel didn't happen is there really haven't been many trades.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? There's just been no.
Well, no, to be fair, there's been more trades now than there ever have been to this point.
Yes.
Most trades happen. Most of these trades happen this week.
Slop. We're off to a hot start. Michael Scotto reporting. Svi Mikhailuk is back.
My God.
They guaranteed his salary. We're so back.
Wait, he was on the Jazz?
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
I feel like this is the third time he's played for the Jazz. Am I just making that up?
At least two. It's at least two. That's definitely.
This has got to be at least the second time that he has played for the Jazz, I feel like. Yeah, or he played for the Hornets, which is spiritually close to the Jazz.
Jazz,
Yeah. Pretty much. I mean, nowadays with the way that they operate, I talked about this a little bit. The NBA media's was shocked by the Yusuf Nurkic for Colin Sexton trade because they had to give up a second round pick, and I'm like, why are you surprised? Danny Ainge sucks now. Danny Ainge hasn't made good moves in years. Why are we pretending that matters?
That is still crazy to be Colin Sexton's a good NBA player, or at least an average NBA.
He's a solid bench guard. I mean, I think that Colin Sexton is a useful player in an 82-game regular season.
Chris Haynes slop says the Kings have arranged meetings via Zoom to talk with Schroeder and Russell Westbrook.
They're gonna fight to the death. They're gonna have them fight to the death, and whoever wins gets the large portion of the Kings MLE, and they get to be. They are trying to create the most disgusting team of all time in Sacramento. I don't know if you've been keeping up with this.
I haven't.
But first off, from everything that James Ham, who's like the main Sacramento guy, has been saying,
that's not his name.
I swear his name's James.
No. I'm not. No, I'm not doubting you. I'm just saying that's not a real name. That's not a name that's correct.
No, I'm pretty sure his name is James Ham.
James Ham. That is like a cartoon pig in like a cartoon.
John Ham's brother James.
Yeah.
So James Ham has basically reported. We don't have to get cut off for veterans minimum, Jeff. We knew Jeff Green and Aaron Holiday are back. We knew they were going back. That's not anything that's new information.
Yeah.
But what James Ham was basically
John Bork's cousin.
What he was saying basically was that they're not prioritizing Jake LaRavia, which I thought that I thought he was pretty good for them. So I was like, oh, they're just going to bring him back. They're potentially not extending Keon Ellis yet, which is insane. It feels like they should do that before the deadline.
He's like one of their 3 good players. Like, why would you not do that?
So they still have time. They have plenty of time to do that. It's just what's happening is basically they're hearing offers on a lot of the roster right now. But if they keep the roster as it currently stands, because Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan, all these guys, even Malik Monk apparently is seen as a negative contract around the NBA, which I don't really agree with that. I think that's probably neutral value. He makes like $18 million a year. I think he's a good player, but apparently they're now trying to get Russell Westbrook or Dennis Schroeder. And that will just be the grossest team that has ever been assembled. Think about it for a second. Think about what that roster looks like if they acquire one of those two, Sam. Russell Westbrook or Dennis Schroeder.
Schroeder at least can like kind of shoot. You know what I'm saying? Like,
sure. But Russell Westbrook, Russ, DeMar, LaVine, Sabonis, Keegan Murray. Like,
let's talk about that though. Are DeRozan and Zach LaVine going to be back? Because I would bet at least one of those guys is gone.
I don't think that we just saw DeAndre Ayton with a year left on his contract get bought out of his deal. Like, I don't think that DeMar DeRozan has any trade value, and I don't think that they're going to take a bath on the Zach LaVine deal, which they just traded for a few months ago.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I just like, well, here, I think we should start here. What do we think? What do we think are the pieces of business on the like horizon that are going to get done? Like Kuminga is probably like one of the bigger pieces of business that's going to get done.
I think the 2 big dominoes that are interesting for me, obviously Kuminga and like Grimes and like all those, they don't have to do that right now because they're restricted free agents. Yeah. They're not unrestricted. They can't go just accept an offer somewhere. The teams can match the deals and they can work outside in trades. Now, I don't even think that's going to get, okay, that's all right. Very funny. LOL. The 2 big moves that are going to happen that I think we'll probably get on this is Dorian Finney-Smith going to the Rockets, and then DeAndre Ayton. We know DeAndre Ayton is going to sign with the Lakers in 2 days. Now, this is important for one reason. LeBron basically has no leverage for the first time in his entire career over his team.
Yeah.
Because they are now basically, if you keep sending fake slop, I'm going to ban you in chat. It's fucking annoying. It's not funny. Basically what's happening there, I posted this conspiracy theory earlier on TikTok and on Twitter, but I think that what's going to happen is the Lakers are going to sign guys to a bunch of 1-year deals, and then they're going to try to have cap space next summer like the Sixers did a year ago.
Okay.
Because if you look at their books, have you looked at their books? The only people on their books next year are
Jared Vanderbilt,
Luka, Dalton Connect, and that's basically it. Even Austin Reeves has an option. He could technically walk in free agency next year. That's not relevant right now. If it's meeting stuff, I don't care. Like, I just want to know what deals are actually moving here. But anyway, let's just focus on this for a second. LeBron is basically trying to force them to make moves, but he has no leverage. When he opted in, that's like a fucking That was like a big red flag to me in terms of like he never
Rich
does
Paul,
the non.
Rich Paul said it. He was like, "We want to get the fuck out of here." Like that was a like he like genuinely might get traded, like straight up. Like that's like totally on the table.
He the thing is that he has he always signs 1-and-1s. He signs the guaranteed first year, player option second year. Him opting in was probably because he knew that Dorian Finney-Smith was leaving, which, if we're to believe Anthony Irwin's story, is fucking insane. For anyone who didn't see the clip that Anthony Irwin was talking about on his podcast, which is absolutely absurd if it's true. Apparently, allegedly, Rob Pelinka was calling other teams and telling them that Dorian Finney-Smith recently had ankle surgery, so they didn't give him a big bag, and the Lakers could get him back on a scam contract next year, which got back to him, and he basically said, fuck you, to the Lakers. And by the way, another wrinkle in there, that is one of Luka's best friends.
Yeah, what are you doing? Like
he famously got pissed when they traded Dorian Finney-Smith away from the Mavericks. I mean, Rob Pelinka is literally Job from Arrested Development.
Yeah, HIPAA violations. The Sam Sheehan NBA bit became real, like all of a sudden, like, which is hilarious.
Just, Jeannie, I've made a huge mistake.
Look,
she doesn't care.
You can have a HIPAA violation if you're hungry. It's not. It's HIPAA, you moron.
Millennial reference, baby. Yeah. Millennial TV. But yeah, so long story short, the Lakers are the biggest. They're the most interesting team to me to see what they do. Because if they start signing guys to 1-year deals, I think they're going to try to do a complete reset next year. Like, also, another wrinkle, someone tweeted this at me. They have their own first-round pick next year.
Yeah.
If things start to go off the rails next year, because I don't think that team's going to be particularly good. Dorian Finney-Smith, look, I've always said Dorian Finney-Smith got a little bit overhyped by nerds because he just, is the traditional, like, finish plays on offense, try hard on defense guy.
Yeah.
But he was important for them last year in terms of, like, he was by far their best perimeter defender.
Yeah.
Now they will have no perimeter defenders. And then they have no center right now, and they might sign DeAndre Ayton. Imagine an old
tanking pick. Yeah.
Imagine an old LeBron, Luka, Rui Hachimura, and DeAndre Ayton led defense.
Not to mention, like, Ayton is like not the center you pair Luka with. Like, he needs like a rim running center, and you're gonna get him like a cooking
wannabe David Robinson.
Yeah, like center. Like, it's such a I don't understand like why the Lakers, like, I will say, like, JJ Redick really impressed me last year. So
yeah, he was awesome.
Like, I'm gonna say, like, I am gonna kind of give him a little bit of the benefit of the doubt that he could
for the regular season, sure, fine.
Yeah, that he could make, like, chicken salad out of chicken shit. But like, it does seem like that they might kind of be zagging a little bit, like, as well.
But like the centers that they're being attached to right now are Brook Lopez, who's 36, 37.
Yeah.
Clint Capella, who's been washed for 2 years, and DeAndre Ayton.
That's upsetting, man. That's like, God, they can't get a better center than that. Like,
who's available?
No one out there? Like,
I mean, Walker Kessler was the guy they targeted, but Walker Kessler, Danny Ainge is just always going to be unreasonable about Walker Kessler trades because he's their only good player under 25 years old.
Is that why he acquired Yusuf Nurkic?
No, he acquired Yusuf Nurkic because he has no fucking idea what he's doing, and people have to try to then do the reverse engineering on why Danny Ainge is actually a genius and why he's doing this. And it's like, he sucks, guys. He sucked he sucked his last year with the Celtics. He sucked the last 4 years. He's a bad GM now. Maybe Austin Ainge is better than his dad at this shit, but I don't think that his start has been particularly great. I mean, sure, Ace and Clayton were fine in the draft, but like, they win the draft every year and they have no good players.
Yeah.
So, in the relative bar that they need to reach in the Western Conference to be a consistent playoff team, they're so far away from that.
And like, look, How much of the Gobert trade equity has come back? 2 picks. Running out of time to win that trade. Like,
so far, what have they really turned that into other than Walker Kessler? Who's been the best draft pick that they've taken with those Donovan Mitchell and
Grizzlies? Hold on, real news. Jaren Jackson. Oh no, it's an extension for Jaren Jackson.
Okay, so they did do the Jaren Jackson extension.
Yeah.
5 years, $240 million. Is that a max? Yeah, that's a max.
That's a max, yeah.
Okay, I thought he could have got more than that. That might not be the full max.
Maybe it's close. It's functionally the max. Maybe it doesn't raise all that way because that's 5 is. That's I mean it's almost 50 million. It's starting at 40 something million, which for. Oh, was he was defensive player of the year though. So maybe does he qualify for the Supermax?
So here's the deal. It's a renegotiate and extend, which are rare, but they do happen sometimes when a team can get to cap space, so they're going to have to dump Cole Anthony, like Will just said, to open up cap space to do this. Because they don't have the cap space to do this unless they could have cleared it if they're doing a renegotiate and extend.
Cole Anthony, Boston Celtic, I'm hearing.
I mean, he's going to certainly get salary dumped somewhere, but I don't know why the Celtics aren't taking back money. I don't think
they're not. No, that's not a real thing. I just like Cole Anthony. Yeah, I don't know who. Well, now that like archetype of guy is out there now. Like Jordan Clarkson is like now in the market.
Jordan Clarkson's like the worst player in the NBA.
I would say he stinks.
Every time I see people talk positively about Jordan Clarkson, I'm like, have you watched Jordan Clarkson the last 3 years? He's legitimately one of the worst players in the NBA.
Do you think there's a chance though that he's just like on a more normal situation that's not the Utah Jazz? He's like, okay, no. I agree, but
my thing with Clarkson is that he was good when he was in his mid to late 20s because he was a great athlete, and now he's 33 years old. Like his archetype of player is just not good into their mid 30s.
Yeah,
like a bucket getting bench guard who's like a hyper athlete is just not. He's not going to be good anywhere he goes. I guarantee you. He might have some nice regular season games where he catches fire, but he's honestly really only been good for like 2 years of his entire career.
Here's chat's talking about this too. Sorry to go back to the Jaren Jackson and other big implications. Are you bringing back Santi Aldama now?
I think they will. Yeah.
It's a lot of money for a shitty team.
But hold on, there's no one that has cap space. So
Nets, but outside of them.
But if the Nets throw a bag at him, then they're probably going to lose him. But the Nets are also angling to use their cap space to take on salary. So they have to, if I were the Nets, I would just throw a bag at Santi. Honestly, look at how they just drafted. Santi fits perfectly with the idea. Like Santi is the fully formed version of the player that you want.
He's a guy who fits on pretty much any roster. Like I don't think there's any such thing as a bad fit for Santi Aldama. But
specifically the Nets,
because
they just drafted a bunch of tall guys who can pass, and like Santi can at least score. But I did this thing yesterday. It's actually kind of crazy. I was using that website Data Baller, where it was Santi Aldama's stats without Ja Morant on the court. And that he was basically like a sub all-star level player. Like he had like it was nuts how efficient he was and how his assists went up. His efficiency was better. He was 73% at the rim. Like I think a team should just try to throw a bag at him. But if the Grizzlies will probably get him back at like $15 million a year.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, I think everything interesting that's happening this deadline is all trades.
Probably.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I think the only free agent deals that could possibly happen are like Kuminga, but like, I think that's more likely to be a sign and trade than like a actual signing. And
we're fighting for our lives here.
Yeah.
Jake Fisher just said that the Wizards are willing to help facilitate a sign and trade with Brogdon. God,
I don't think people are going to do that. I think that's the other thing about sign and trades though. Like more teams have money out there, which also means it's like, kind of more debilitating to get hard capped at the first apron, which is what happens when you take on a sign and trade. So,
okay. Someone's saying Santi's in. There you go.
Okay.
Santi, 3 years, $54 million to go back to the Wizards. I'm sorry, to Wizards, the Grizzlies. Yeah. 352. That's a great deal for the Wizards.
Wow.
Or the Grizzlies. Fuck. Why do I keep saying the Wizards?
That's really good. That's 17.
My guess is that it probably has a third year player option on it. They probably haven't announced it yet, because then he can hit free agency again in 2 years.
Shout out to Space Cowboy. We'll get one more decent sized move from the Magic. Maybe, I don't know. They've done a lot though. Like
I heard that they're signing Tyus Jones. I think that's fine for them, to be honest. Yeah, I think that's fine. Like just that's to be fine. Like a bench guard for them.
It's just very
regular season inning eater. I mean, look, I've always thought that Tyus Jones is one of the most overrated players in the NBA, but for a guy, they still need ball handlers to get them through the regular season. You're just focusing on keeping your guys fresh for the playoffs at this point.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see what happens when all the dust clears and everything, but right now I'm seriously thinking about picking them as my Eastern Conference Finals pick next season.
Starting to look that way. I mean, if you have to make a bet on a team to stay healthy and a team that will probably be the freshest by the playoffs, the few teams that it feels like it would be a good bet to take on are like the Magic and the Knicks. Like there's not many others. The Cavs, maybe.
It's insane how much Shams Charania started a thread. That's such a funny thing to do. That it's so like funny how we're seeing guys who are good players get worse deals now than they did in the summer of 2016. Like when the cap was like literally half what it is now.
Yeah, I mean this summer is pretty unique too. I feel like we kind of have amnesia. Like last summer, we didn't literally just hand out deals like it was fucking candy.
Yeah,
like Kentavious Caldwell-Pope got $24 million a year. Paul George got $50 million a year. Isaiah Hartenstein got $30 million a year.
Yeah.
It's just no one has cap space. Like these years happen every once in a while. Now, I do think the new CBA is part of this. I'm not saying that it isn't. Like if Ty Jerome signs somewhere for $8 million a year, that's absurd.
Yeah.
Will Nets gonna kill himself. I'm assuming that's a Grizzlies fan that said that about him saying Santi going back.
Amazing.
If I'm this, no lie, if I'm the Sixers, I'm signing the Grimes deal to exactly match that Santi deal if I can. Because I would be like, because the thing is, if the Sixers are good, they're a power forward away, and Santi is the perfect fit for what they need. And Grimes is probably going to make somewhere a little bit more than that, maybe 17, 18 million a year. And the Sixers have picks. So like, even if it's perceived that Santi is a better player at the deadline, you could be like, here are the Clippers picks and Grimes. Let's just bring Santi in. And then the Sixers suddenly make a lot more sense, basically.
Man,
I'm not giving up on Grimes. We just drafted a player who plays the same position as him with the third pick in the draft.
I mean, you want to use the asset.
Play the three a little bit, but yeah.
But you want to use the asset. I mean, like, look, you have arguably your three young franchise cornerstones moving forward all are guards. Yeah.
And also Grimes and his camp are smart to want more money from the Sixers because they know that they're trying to do this. Like they're smart to be like, hey, give us 25 million because then if I get traded, at least I got a bag, you know?
Yeah. I'm laughing at the Star Jokic. They're doing the if man memes, but with the potential man with Shams.
Oh yeah.
He rivaled Prime Watch. 0 features, amazing. 0 reports, 7 ESPN segments.
You know, I'm looking at by the way, if the Grizzlies that's also confusing. Why did the Cavs give Sam Merrill, not Sam Merrill, the comedian, the same money as Ty Jerome if Ty Jerome gets $8 or $9 million?
I mean, that's absurd. Like, I just don't understand what. I don't know. Like, I'm a little thrown off by like the valuations because like the dumb teams haven't even really like jumped in yet. Like, I think the Grizzlies are a pretty well-run team. Like, outside of the Marcus Smart trade,
if the Grizzlies walk away with Cedric Coward, Santi on that contract, JJJ on that contract, and then get Ty Jerome for $8 to $9 million, I don't hate the Bane trade quite as much. I didn't ever hate the Bane trade for them, but I do think that they're at least remaining competitive while they could try to cash out on I guess they did. They still have that one pick for next year. The Suns pick doesn't look quite as good as it did a few weeks ago. Hold on one second. Hey.
Yeah. So we haven't seen anything with any of this stuff, like kind of going forward, but I think that this is going to I don't want to say the new normal for the NBA, but just kind of like Trill and I were just talking about, like, this could be more off seasons like this under this new CBA, just because so many teams are incentivized to go for it. But because the second apron makes it very hard to like move money around. Like,
sure.
You don't just have your pay Clippers teams. Like in the past, the Clippers could be, and the Warriors could be way over the amount, and they could still be involved in transactions.
Oh yeah.
Like that doesn't happen anymore. So if you have 6 or 7 teams that are double aproned, it freezes out like almost a quarter of the league. Like it's crazy. Sure. Yeah. So that's the issue. So
yeah, no, I agree. I do think that we're going to have more off years like this. Next year, there's going to be a lot more cap space and it will be more like last off season, but there will be years like this. And that's why guys are smart just to get the money. Like, look, was it probably not a great idea for Jabari Smith Jr. to get that money when he did? That's kind of an unheard of extension to take a below market value extension 4 months away from when, but guys are just like, there's so little cap space, get your money while you can kind of thing. Also, thank you, Joe Veralls. I love the George Sonos headphones. Thank you for sponsoring.
George Sonos.
Okay. So
do we want to talk Jabari extension?
Let's talk about it. I actually, look, you know me, I've been the biggest Jabari hater probably in the NBA media sphere. I think he's one of the most overrated players in the NBA. Having said that, I think that's a totally fine contract.
Fine. That's just the fifth starter money. Yeah,
exactly. That's
what he is. Yeah.
And also, even if Jabari doesn't get better, which I assume without Jalen Green, with him getting a little bit more opportunity next year,
I think he'll get a little bit better, like, yeah.
Even if he takes baby steps, that contract will return value. And if it doesn't, we just saw in back-to-back years, RJ Barrett and Jalen Green get traded after they signed big deals that they were not worth. Teams always overvalue these high picks, these guys who were the top 3-4 drafted, because we've had so many examples of guys like Andrew Wiggins, Aaron Gordon, PJ Washington. I know PJ wasn't quite that high in the draft, but guys that go other places and revamp their careers. Julius Randle later in his career, who was like the 7th pick of the draft. So I think that contract from the Rockets retains value. It's good for Jabari to get his money now, like I said, just because you want to get it before all the money gets dried up, basically. I was wondering, if I were his agent, I would have told him to wait a little bit longer and try to get closer to $30 million, to be honest with you. But he got 5 years fully guaranteed, and he honestly hasn't even been that good in the NBA.
I mean, no. But like, we can see the potential, you know what I'm saying? I guess what was interesting about it was like that he was putting all the deals, right? Like he was the guy who like kind of was supposed to be like sort of intriguing. Like if you were going to be someone, like for example, when they're trading with Phoenix for Kevin Durant, that was supposed to be the guy that was like kind of tantalizing. And now they didn't, have to put him in any of these deals. Now, was that because they kept him out of the deals, or was it because teams were like, we're good, Yeah. And, I think the deal reflects that he's still kind of in that middle zone. Like, I think people are still kind of trying to figure some of this out.
I think the media is way higher on Jabari than who he is as a player right now. But there's projection built into all of this. There's projection built into what he could become. He's 21 years old, or just turned 22. Like, look, is Jabari disappointing for the 3rd pick in the draft? Yeah, I think so. I think absolutely he's disappointing for the 3rd pick in the draft. But he's still probably going to have a 15-year NBA career and will probably return at least neutral value on that contract. With the cap going up, the last year of that contract, that's going to be close to the MLE. Like it's like nothing, Yeah. Also, we haven't done a Masai GM retrospective yet. We're going to have to do a slop trial with Masai which I think will end a lot like the Joe Dumars slap trial, to be honest with you, because he was such a baller for his first like 5 years or 8 years, and then he sucked his last few.
And was there a reason for that? Who's to say? But we will definitely be doing. He's one of the most fascinating GMs of all time because, like, I think that first run leading up to the title is the most impressed I've ever been. Dorian Finney-Smith slop. Houston Rockets, 4 years, $53 million.
Full MLE for 4 years. So it was, that was confirmed.
Yeah. So there he goes. So there goes Dorian Finney-Smith. Luka Doncic, you are a Houston Rocket.
Sorry, Harrison.
Yeah.
I mean, I made that video about how I think that the Lakers have a plan for next offseason, but there's no guarantee. This might just be them fucking up. This might just be Rob Pelinka getting too high on his own supply. I
have to say, it would be one of the funniest things in the world if they were the beneficiaries of one of the most lopsided trades in the history of the NBA and still fucked it up.
I mean, it's definitely possible. By the way, my light is on. For some reason, the lighting fucking sucks in this room.
I think you're just backlit with the window.
I think that's probably what's happening here. Unfortunately, I have no way around this, so I'm just gonna it's fine. It's not going on YouTube or anything. This is just going on the Patreon. You don't need to see my beautiful face. But you can see my Sonos Ace headphones.
However, his sound is good. Oh wait.
The sound is great.
Paul Reed back to the Pistons.
Oh, I thought you were going to say to the Sixers. You almost made me so happy, dude.
A 2-year, $11 million deal for B-ball.
Good for Paul, man.
Yeah, still getting that back.
Paul's going to make like $50 to $60 million in his career. Good for him.
Our dog. We do love B-ball Paul here. Dorian Finney-Smith on the Rockets. I mean, good sharp thing. Kind of a rich get richer thing. They didn't really need him.
They're just cornering the market on wing defenders. Like. Yeah. I get that you're trying to keep him away from other teams, but it doesn't really feel like you're filling a need quite as much. Like I would have, if I were them, I would have signed Ty Jerome instead of Dorian Finney-Smith.
Yeah, I agree. Like you definitely would have addressed more of a need. Now that said, can they just turn right around and flip him at the deadline for like something like
maybe? But we just
the idea, but
we just saw him go for. Did we not just see him go for second round picks a few months ago? Like it's not like he has a ton of trade value. I'm fine with it just because adding a good player, like a solid fifth starter, when you're trying to once again preserve Kevin Durant, who's up there in age, you want to rest him a lot throughout the season. You want to have as many active wing defenders as possible. Essentially, the way I explained it was they just traded Jalen Green and Dylan Brooks for Kevin Durant and Dorian Finney-Smith.
Pretty good trade.
I think anyone would do that 10 times out of 10. Now, I feel a little bit better about the Suns' end of it now that they got Malawach in the draft and they turned it into. They also turned their second round picks into Rasheer Fleming. I kind of like that for the Suns. Like, I don't hate how they went about that, to be honest with you. But I do think that the Rockets just. I think the Rockets are going to be like very clearly the 1 seed next year, almost. If they even give an ounce about the regular season, because OKC doesn't need to care about the regular season next year.
No. That they will anyway, though. Guard Cam Spencer has agreed to a 2-year deal with the Grizzlies.
I don't give a fuck about Cam Spencer.
Hold on. Who negotiated the deal?
Bartlestein.
That's how you know the goat was involved. So
Bartlestein and congratulations, another seventh man has hit the Memphis Grizzlies. Signed a starter, okay? Actually, they just signed Santi, so I can't complain. I love Santi. But Bartlestein and Rich Paul are absolutely dominating this offseason once again.
That's who you got to get one of those guys if you're a player, man. I'm sorry, like you got to.
They're by far the two best.
Yeah,
they're basically Shaq and Duncan.
It's crazy. Like, look, everyone always tries to like poo-poo what Rich Paul does. It's like, oh, he's LeBron's friend. That leverage is gone. This is all on his own now. You know, like
no, Rich Paul's a great agent.
Paul's a GOAT agent, man. Like he gets your stuff done. Like
did you see him making mafia moves the other night at the draft?
Yeah,
calling up and saying we'll get Kamal Malawach to the Suns. He had Ishbia on the other line. Like, watch this,
dude. He
did the Usher.
He's honestly like Rich Paul, like real. That's real agent hours. That's all I'm gonna say.
Hear me out on the Rockets thing real quick, because I know a lot of people are gonna push back on this. Yeah. They just replaced the worst starter in the NBA with Kevin Durant. And then didn't really lose much else, and they were legitimately a very good team when Jalen Green wasn't on the court last year. Bro, they were like a plus 13 in the non-Jalen Green minutes. I'm assuming that everyone on that team is going to get a little bit better. They give a fuck about the regular season. They run like 10 deep. The regular season is about how much depth you have. The regular season is about how much you care. You can literally stack up regular season wins.
Tari could get hurt and Reed Shepherd could be like nothing and they'd still be fine. Like they have a lot of wiggle room for like bad things to happen and to still be like a pretty competent team.
And like Dorian Finney-Smith and Dillon Brooks are roughly equivalent players, but when you have stars on your team like Kevin Durant and Şengün, you'd rather have a Dorian Finney-Smith who isn't taking the ball away from them but taking shots. He's literally just going to fill in the gaps. Like, I actually think that team's going to be I think that team's going to be awesome. I do agree. I think they need Reed to be like a real player next year, though. That's why I would have signed. Point. That's what I would have signed Ty Jerome, but I guess they really believe in Reed Shepherd.
Yeah. The other thing that somebody was saying was like that Dillon Brooks is probably still better than Dorian Finney-Smith at this point in his career. So
I don't know on this team specifically. I'd rather have Dorian Finney-Smith. I think Dillon Brooks is good for a team. Here's the thing. Yeah. I think Dillon Brooks is better for a team like the Grizzlies of a few years ago, the Rockets of the last 2 years, when you need a guy who's just going to take the ball, take shots, just as a general like fringe shot creator in a pinch, right?
Yeah.
If I have legitimate stars on my team, which I think the Rockets do now, I don't want that player taking away the ball from my best players. And Dorian Finney-Smith knows how to play off stars better than the large majority of role players.
Do you have any problem with the
Dillon Brooks is not a 40% three-point shooter? Get the fuck out of here, dude. He shoots like 35% for his career. He had one good shooting season.
Do we think it's a good idea to pay Dorian Finney-Smith until he's 37 years old?
No, I don't love that. But for next year, I don't care. Once again, I'm just talking. I'm just talking next year.
Yeah.
Who's better for vibes? Who's better for vibes? DFS or Brooks? I've heard Dorian Finney-Smith is a great locker room guy, in general.
Yeah. Wait. What is Keith saying? It's like close enough to be minimal.
Dorian Finney-Smith did not get the full non-taxpayer MLE from the Rockets.
He maybe, but like it's close enough that it doesn't fucking matter. Like
he only left $1 million on the table.
Yeah, it's like veterans minimum. Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm
not really sure.
Too much to.
He didn't get his 8% raises, so I don't know. Space under the first apron for a trade. Okay, interesting. I'm assuming we're not getting that. By the way, everyone is bitch made and they're afraid of tampering stuff. That's what's happening here.
That was pretty funny. Do you remember like what was it? Like 2 years ago when Woj just started announcing stuff before the deadline. Do you remember that?
Yeah, because it's fun.
Yeah,
because it's cool.
Yeah. And then Adam Silver, Fun Police, had to ruin it.
Yeah, exactly. Hold on.
Look, right. Far be it from me to defend Woj, but like, I'm just saying it was fun. So
one of the OG supporters of the podcast, William Casey, who is a Patreon subscriber.
By the way, sorry, Cole Anthony. They're going to trade Cole Anthony, is the report.
They're working to get him. That feels insane to say that before you do it, though.
Yeah, I don't know what is it a buyout? That's crazy to buy out Cole Anthony.
Renegotiate and extend. Yeah.
Apparently, Greg Anthony was saying buyout on NBA TV. Dude, because
Cole
Anthony like 26? Yeah, that's what I'm. He's
Yeah,
like
I know
26.
you think Cole Anthony's good, but he's not.
I mean, he's not good, but I think he's like a play. I mean, the problem is that there's probably more guys in the league that can do his job better at a certain point. But like,
yeah, I mean, here's the thing: can he help a team? Maybe, sure. He also makes. Let's see what his contract is. So he has $13 million left on his deal, and then it's a team option next year. So it's really an expiring deal.
yeah.
So they'll probably find. My guess is that they'll probably buy him out for. He's going to be moved in some capacity. So if he gets bought out,
if it was a buyout, that's crazy. Like, I don't think you should buy him out. Somebody's got to be able to trade for him at somewhere.
Sure.
Like,
okay. So anyway, yes, former head of the CIA, William Casey. I'm assuming that's who this is. The Sixers fan. Sent me and said, here's a trade idea for you guys to mull over before the free agency slop streams. I said I would read this on the stream. The Sixers send Grimes to Atlanta into their DeJounte Murray TPE. Atlanta sends the 2026 pick they just robbed from the Pelicans on draft night to the Blazers. The Blazers send Denny Avdia to the Sixers. The Blazers aren't trading Denny Avdia. Let's get that out of the way first off. Also, I mean, that would make sense if it were the head of the CIA trying to get us Denny Avdia.
Dude, the Hawks are never doing that. They're not trading a fucking unprotected
Pelicans
Bucks pick for, like, it's the better of the Pelicans and the Bucks pick, two teams that are gonna be dog shit next year for Quentin Grimes. That's not happening. That's like a star. That's like a trade like you put in like a centerpiece for like a all-star.
Sure. Yeah. Well, maybe he works for Mossad. I'm not sure. But no, I don't think that would something like that. If the Sixers are trading Grimes, it is going to be for one of two reasons. One, they just can't come to a deal and another team says, we'll pay you more somehow, whether it's a TPE or whatever. Or there's a player out there that's a better fit with the Sixers that they can get in a 1-for-1 trade. But that's just not... It's not going to happen. Also, these new rules, like with all the hard capping with the apron shit, like it just makes these deals. This is why the Sixers traded for Grimes in the first place, because they knew the market was going to be dog shit this summer for him. And they knew that it was going to be impossible to do a sign and trade. So they were like, we can get Grimes back at a reasonable contract. And then what's the worst case scenario? It takes the qualifying offer. And then we have him for a year.
Something like that. Like,
yeah. The only thing is that if he does take the qualifying offer, which is the only leverage he has, is to take the qualifying offer, but then he loses his bird rights.
And it's risky just in general. Like you get hurt and all of a sudden you don't have any, you just have no leverage. You can't get any money. Like I just think it's, I'll believe someone takes the qualifying offer when someone who's not Greg Monroe
Miles
does
Bridges.
Yeah.
Miles Bridges, who was in a specific scenario where, the thing is that he doesn't fully lose his bird rights with the Sixers, but I think he would lose his bird rights if he were to get traded. So like, for example, if Grimes was like, I'm going to take the qualifying offer and make $9 million next year, however much it is. Yeah, Shams is trying to hype up Cole Anthony right now.
This is vile, dude.
This means the playmaking and scoring guard is entering the marketplace.
I need to be deputized by the powers that be in Bristol, the whatever county Bristol is in Connecticut, and I will arrest Shams Charania. He will be brought to justice for what he said on the thing. This is crazy.
No, everyone is mad at me because they were saying I was defending Shams, and I was like, no, I'm just trying to put it in context. Nothing ever happens before free agency. Now, free agency starts and nothing happens, then yeah, this offseason was completely overrated. But this year was the opposite of what usually happens. Yeah. I literally could go back and check the tape. We do this content every year. There aren't trades, but the week in between, and usually you have a week in between the draft and free agency. But we didn't have that this year. So there's not going to be, if there are trades, they're either going to happen now or later this week.
This means the playmaking and scoring guard is entering the marketplace. I've never seen a tweet like that before.
Yes, Cole Anthony, event creator, dude. That's dude. All my homies are saying event creation.
Woj is evil. Like I talk about Woj the way those guys talk about King Von in that video, where like, he was a demon. Like, you know, that he just
some people just have
people.
to go away.
Yeah, that's how I feel about Woj. You can't put yourself in the conversation with Woj. Like it is. Yeah. It is like you can't say that after this, Shams. You can't. The thing was, I wouldn't care because, like we said, we kind of predicted that this was going to be slow. The fact that Shams had the fucking audacity to go on TV and be like, "Ooh, eye emoji, fireworks!" Like, shut the fuck up. How stupid do you think we are? Like,
well, it's very funny because Shams. You don't have to do this. People are going to pay attention anyway.
Yeah.
Like you're not, I know you're a company man and like you're trying to hype up everything for ESPN, but people are going to care. Look at how many people we have in here right now. We have 450 people and nothing's happening.
Yeah.
For the second straight year, this is what's happened. Yeah. But also I just want to point out about Shams. Did you see the clip of him hyping up Derek Queen?
No. Oh no. Oh.
So he was basically like, Why is that trade bad?
Oh, Derek Queen to the Lakers.
Oh, to the Lakers.
2-year, $12 million deal. So $6 million a year for LaRavia on the Lakers.
Good deal for the Lakers. Yeah, that's actually a good move. I like LaRavia. I wanted the Sixers to sign him. Unfortunately, Daryl Morey is asleep right now.
Rob Pelinka apology forms due. Everyone can.
Also, I'm very unfortunate here for our friend who's the Sonos headphones in the chat. I believe he's a Kings fan. He has a Keegan Murray picture. He's usually in chat. It's been really tough for the Kings recently.
This is tough, dude. Like for it to be the Lakers too is so fucking. I would be so annoyed.
So Lakers fans are going to be annoyed by this, but you shouldn't be. He's good. Jake LaRavia is like a solid wing, good defender. Solid rebounder, passable shooter, good passer. He's actually I hated LaRavia in the draft. I didn't really like him his first 2 years in the NBA. I thought he was really good last year. I actually think that they are creating the whitest team of all time. Wait. What? Haynes is saying Kings? Nah, he's got that wrong.
Yeah.
No way.
Did we just have a Shams fuck up? Did Shams get owned?
Or I feel like Hayes is.
Wow. Okay, let's go. Duel.
Slop off.
Who you got? We got to
put your money. Let's do a poll. Who's right?
All right. Who's right? Normally,
this is a poll that we had from months ago.
Haynes would be drawing dead, but like I feel like Shams is vulnerable right now. Let's find out who we got, folks. Get those chats. This will be the most important part of the stream. Finding out if we've got a slop off or not. Trill is double checking the work.
Who is right about Demon LaRavia, baby?
Yeah.
No, but I needed to. Speaking of Shams,
Sleepy Shams, folks. Sleepy Shams.
Chris has a house in Sacramento. Yeah, no. Not only does he have a house, he also owns a beauty shop in Sacramento where he did his podcast. This League Uncut with Mark Stein live, and he charged $50 a ticket. Could you imagine spending $50 to go see that podcast live at a beauty shop in Sacramento?
$50 is a lot of money. I would I'm a sicko. I would pay like $15 and think it was like very fun.
Sure. I'm pinning the poll real quick so that people can vote on it.
By the way, we have our answer. Wokey confirmed. It is Lakers.
So Haynes was wrong.
Haynes. Well, I
was going to say they said they weren't prioritizing him.
Yeah, I mean, it made sense that the Lakers like swooped in and got him because like everything, all the smoke was that he wasn't like coming back. So
by the way, this continues to add to my conspiracy theory. They just got him for $6 million, which is at a minimum movable contract. If not, just keeping cap space open. They just got younger around Luka. Now, look, this is not really a consequential move. Jake LaRavia is like a fringe starter bench wing. You know what I mean? This isn't like anything crazy, but this is not. If LeBron is thinking that they're going to try to get better next year, like Jake LaRavia is what, 23? He's 23 or 24.
Pretty young, yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember the 2022 draft? Why he ended up rising up boards? It was one of the funniest things of all time.
No, I don't remember this.
So he was a 3-year player at Wake Forest, if I remember correctly, and they found out that he was younger than he was originally listed as. He was only a 1-year player. He was not a one and done, LaRavia. No way.
I didn't even know he was a Wake Forest guy. That's funny.
Hold on. He played
2 years at Indiana State.
Okay, played 2 years at Indiana State, 1 year at Wake Forest. Okay. So the reason why he was projected to be like a second round pick undrafted. And then a month before the draft, he was like, it says I'm 22 years old online, but I'm 20. It was the reverse Buddy Hield.
Wait, so like, does that mean he was like in college at 17?
Maybe. Yeah, he might have.
He played 3 years of college ball. How is that?
He was probably 20 on draft night.
Because that's like really hard. Okay, so like a quick digression. As someone who's been a Division I athlete and was 17 when I went to college, you have to sign off on a lot of extra paperwork that your peers don't have to sign off on when you're 17.
Well,
because
Cooper
you
Flag,
technically
Cooper
still
Flag
have
17.
a guardian. Yes.
Yeah.
You still have a guardian and like stuff like that. So I find it very hard to believe nobody like.
So you're trying to say
Jake
LaRavia couldn't fuck freshman year?
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying, well, no, they let you fuck. Hold on. First of all, I don't want anyone to say that 17-year-old Division I athletes weren't allowed to fuck. That's not true.
That's a good excuse.
But like they had to call me. I almost couldn't go to our training camp. They had to like call me into the office because like nobody checked what my age was. Everyone just assumed I was old enough, and I was like 17 when I got to school. So like they had to my parents didn't have a fax machines. So like we didn't have like DocuSign or anything like that.
Sure. It was 2007.
In 2007. No, I ran cross country, guys, not lacrosse. Come on.
By the way, just a reminder that the upcoming draft class that we're going to talk about next year, they were born in 2007. I just wanted to remind you.
Oh my God, dog. That's brutal. That's when I graduated high school, man. That's tough.
I know it's tough.
Yeah.
It's absolutely, it's brutal. It makes me feel horrible.
Yeah. That's really bad. I could have held the 3-point record for Brown. Our basketball team is ass, dude. It's terrible. But anyway, yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I think we're gonna see more. I think that's a great pick for. No, I couldn't. Oh wait, yes, I could have. No, I voted for Obama. I voted for Obama. Yeah.
I didn't vote. First time I voted was 2012.
Yeah. No, I had to. No, yeah, because they were registering us on the yeah. I remember. And then the Young Jeezy. That's like one of my formative memories of college was. Because like
your president
everywhere
on
campus, exactly. Everyone was playing that Jeezy song the night he got elected. It was really good.
I do remember that.
McCain. Come on.
I wrote in Meghan McCain.
Yeah. I listened to Michael Ian Black. I was a big Michael Ian Black head. He told me to.
No, binders full of slop.
That was 2012, though.
That was the first time I could, yeah.
Oh.
But by the way, the Derek Queen thing that I want to just call back to real quick.
Yeah.
They asked Shams about that trade, and Shams, of course, doesn't know anything, and also is just always serving agents and players. It's his job. Yeah. Like that's what he does. And teams, he's protecting people. But he basically said, he's like, well, what if Derek Queen becomes a Hall of Famer? Then what is that trade bad? And it's like, yeah, I mean, then like, what's the point of doing any of this? Like, we're going to have opinions on whether trading an unprotected first for a player that doesn't really fit on your team. Your best player is Zion.
Here's the thing. Why that's a bad idea is because I guarantee you the Hawks still would have done that deal if you protected it top 4 protected. I guarantee you they still would have done that because it's great value still at that point. Like,
yeah, or at minimum top 3 protected because the top 3 is supposed to be fucking insane next year. You know, I know Zion doesn't play, but like you have to keep that in mind at least somewhat, unless you're just assuming Zion is done, and then if Zion's done, then cut him.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that they should have. I don't know. Look, it was bad process. It's a terrible trade. It could, like the Gobert thing. Honestly, it's probably pretty similar to the Gobert thing, where it's like, it can work out, but like why take that risk? You know what I'm saying? You didn't need to do that. I guess that's what makes it a bad trade. Maybe you don't end up getting the worst possible outcome.
Yeah.
But you were exposed like that. And that's how bad things happen, is when you combine the exposure with the bad luck. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
you could argue some trades were worse than like Nets Celtics, but like the thing was that the worst possible thing happened in the Nets, where they got bad so fast, so quickly. Like,
sure.
Just because it doesn't pan out that way doesn't mean anything. So like Derek Queen could be an all-star and it's still a bad trade. I'm sorry.
Well, here's the deal. Basically what people have been saying is that Sam Vecini said that teams were actively trying to call them because they knew they were going to do something stupid.
Yeah.
They were calling Joe Dumars and Troy Weaver because they're like, they're going to do something dumb. I heard the rumors I heard, which they're unsubstantiated. I don't know. Maybe they might just be rumors. But like the things that Daryl Morey was trying to get from them was like hilarious. But that's also classic Daryl Morey.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's very silly. Dumars getting bad. I feel bad for giving Richard Normal and the Pelicans fans false hope by me specifically saying.
I mean, Dumars has been terrible forever.
I said he was. I said that he was a great. Yeah, I mean, he did do good though 20 years ago.
Peter, you're sending ball sack fucking posts in 2025 in the chat.
Yeah.
But no,
Tom, that man won you a championship. Let's respect God, Joey D. Okay?
Yeah, Masai's been great the last 5 years too.
That's true.
Because he won a championship in 2019.
Jeez, it's amazing. Yeah, LaRavia. LaRavia, because he's white, we've talked about this before. It seems like, oh, he's good on offense and bad on defense, when it's exact opposite.
I actually think he's pretty decent on offense. I think he got overrated as a shooter because he's white, but his offense is solid and his defense is good. But yeah, no, he literally, when they got him on the Kings, did you hear their broadcast was like, we thought he was going to be like a shooter who stands in the corner. Yeah. And then they were like, wait a minute, he's actually like kind of a athletic, like solid defender. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Vanilla Najee Marshall is not a bad way to put it. Although Najee's a little bit better with the ball, but yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see. I mean, it is. I will say it is kind of crazy that like how few deals are getting done. I thought
teams are afraid. This happened last year too. You don't remember?
I do, but like there wasn't as much like cap space. You know what I'm saying? The cap space stuff was not as dire last year. You remember?
Sure.
Like,
right. Most of these deals have been locked in for days, but teams are afraid to announce them.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to know where Sam Hauser's going. Okay. Hold on. Here's something we should talk about. Good. We haven't talked about yet. That happened.
We have a lot of things that we could talk about.
How about, what the fuck did the Heat do for Duncan Robinson? Like what Mossad compromat did they have on Duncan Robinson to get him to opt out of that deal?
So someone explained to me that wasn't a fully guaranteed contract.
Oh,
it was only half guaranteed. So he would have gotten half and then he could have went to sign with another team if they waived him, but he might end up getting a similar amount of money.
Yeah. But why pick up the early termination option if you could, you know what I'm saying? You get that money and then you get the money you signed for. If you help
I get what you're saying, but I think that he wants to get extra years is what people are saying. Sure. So he wants to try to get two, because how many more years does Duncan Robinson really have in the NBA? You know how old Duncan Robinson is?
Yeah, he's old. He's
31, I think.
Yeah, 32. Yeah, 32.
He's 30 going on 31.
Also, he's about to lose his title as the best player from Maine in the NBA.
Which is the most crushing defeat that he could ever take, I think.
Yeah, it's very bad.
But I mean, look, there were plenty of things that have happened. The Duncan Robinson one was originally that's kind of crazy. But I'm looking at, he's from New Hampshire, I think. I don't think he's from Maine.
No, he's from York. He went to school in New Hampshire or something.
Oh, like
that.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. I think he went to school in Newcastle, but he's York, Maine. Look it up. He's a York guy. Yeah, we're claiming him. Yeah.
We're taking it.
Yeah, we're taking it.
Yeah. Also, a very funny piece of slop that seemed like it was a fake thing that could have never been true. But did you see Jovan, the Lakers reporter, reported that to watch out for the Mavericks if they trade LeBron? I was like, how is this not Centel?
I would, if he gets traded, I would think the Warriors would be the team that would like.
They just traded for Jimmy. I don't think they're going to trade Jimmy.
Maybe not.
That's the problem with every LeBron trade. The Heat are the only team that makes sense. Also, LeBron has a no trade clause. So LeBron can dictate the terms of the deal.
True. Facts.
We saw this with Bradley Beal.
Yeah. I don't know who. I mean, I feel like as much as the Lakers might want to, they were never going to like send him to the Kings or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how much the no trade clause changes things. I feel like you don't disrespect, you know what I'm saying? Like LeBron still has that juice. You can't like disrespect him really. You know?
Yeah. I mean, we'll end up seeing eventually something that is,
Trey Jones, 3-year, $24 million deal to go back to the Bulls. Trey Jones got more money than Jake LaRavia, which is pretty hilarious. Wow.
Okay. Am I supposed to have like a reaction? Every year there's like one or two players where everyone forces me to have an opinion on them, and I remain steadfast that they don't matter. And Trey Jones is one of the players. Yeah. That I just do not like. I did this with Simone Fontecchio for years, and now Simone Fontecchio doesn't play, and everyone was like, he's actually pretty good. And I'm like, is he? Does he matter? Does he actually matter?
Yeah, he's no Cole Anthony, that's for sure.
I mean, Trey Jones is fine. Like,
yeah, he's fine.
Okay, he's like a bench guard. Let's see. He played way above his head with the
Here,
hold
let's
on.
let
Am I not familiar with his game? Hold on.
Yeah, let the boy cook. Hold on. I'm letting the boy up here.
Who?
Kevin. Let's let the boy cook for 2 minutes.
Hold on, Kevin. Before you say anything,
let's
just make sure your mic's working, because sometimes when you talk, it doesn't work at first.
Is it working?
Yeah,
you're great. You're perfect.
Yeah. Trey Jones stinks. What are we doing? we just paid $10 million to the worst Jones brother. We talk all the time about Tyus Jones is the better brother, and he was a minimum contract guy last year. What are we doing?
Chat was saying Trey Jones is better earlier.
Yeah. They both stink. They're both assist to turnover merchants who don't put any pressure on the defense, and they're too small to defend. Like, also, Billy Donovan hates tiny guards. What are we doing?
That's the other part. He never played Javon Carter.
No, they signed Javon Carter to that deal, and it was immediately a bad deal because Billy Donovan, despite being a 5'10" guy who made it in the NBA, hates tiny guards. He hates them with his life.
Did Billy Donovan play in the NBA for long?
Yes, he played for the Knicks.
I don't remember that.
Before my time.
D'Angelo Russell to the Mavericks.
2 years, 12?
13 million?
13, okay. So Stein was 1 year off on that.
D'Angelo Russell is a much better basketball player than Trey Jones.
Again, that is kind of crazy that he got more money than D'Angelo Russell did. Like,
he got more money than a lot of guys.
Yeah,
I hate to do the Bill thing, but who are you bidding against for Trey Jones?
Yeah. Nobody. Nobody.
Tough. It feels like they do this all the time.
Well, now I'm worried about Giddey getting overpaid. Like, I was already worried about it, but like I had heard a little smoke that maybe they were going to squeeze him. But like
they should try. I mean, there's no point in not trying.
They just gave Trey Jones $30 million.
I don't think was it 30.
3 years.
It was 30.
I think it was 24.
Oh, yeah. Well, that still stinks.
$8 million.
$8 million a year, I think. So
yeah.
So he's.
It's not as bad as I thought it was, but it's still bad.
Yeah.
American Ben Seraph just went to the Mavs.
American Ben Seraph.
Yeah. Anti-apartheid Ben Seraph from South Africa and Israel.
Let me just say, I like that for the Mavericks. I can't wait to pick the Mavericks to be fourth in the West next year. I'm so excited.
The Mavericks need
they need
a guard. Yeah, they just need a guard. Like, I mean, now look,
I think that's a great deal for D'Angelo. Like, look, D'Angelo Russell obviously has bozo mode, like in his soul.
Sure,
he's better than Spencer Dinwiddie. He's better than a lot of these other guys. You have a little bit. You're going to have pretty good defensive infrastructure on your back line between Gafford, Flagg, and Davis. Clay is obviously dog shit now, but like it works a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like there
gonna
are
be
worse
solid
ways to spend $6 million a year of your salary cap. I really like that for the Mavericks. I think that's a great signing.
So the slurs Ryan Russillo will say for D'Lo when he thinks a pull up with threes with flag one pass away would be a movie. That's definitely.
I mean, I'm gonna hate it. I'm gonna.
Let me just say about D'Lo.
Yeah.
I don't hate it because they just need guards on that team to be like a normal team. Having said that, if I were building a team around a young player, D'Lo would not be the first guy on my list for players that I would want to, while Cooper Flag is developing into the player that he can become. But that's a scam contract for him. I mean, he's easily a $15 million a year player, and they just got him for like $7 million. Not even.
Yeah. I think that's good. I think that's good. Like, look, if Kyrie comes back, I mean, he'll probably won't, but if Kyrie comes back, I think he still has like use as like your six man off the bench. Like, and that's probably like the idealized role for D'Angelo Russell.
Kyrie wasn't hurt. I guess they wouldn't have been bad enough to get the Luka pick or the Luka pick, Cooper Flag pick. But they would have been pretty good if Kyrie wasn't hurt, to be honest.
This is also D'Angelo Russell getting that contract is just more evidence that scoring guards who don't play defense are just like completely. They just have no value in the league anymore.
At least D'Lo's a good passer. Like that's the other thing. He's not a great,
and he got $6.5 million a year.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Like I'm saying, like Kobe. Like I think Bulls fans, including myself, thought that Kobe White was on like a scam deal and they would get something for him.
I saw something the other day that I literally think the most assisted player that I saw, those videos where they ask players who like stats about themselves, like they'll be like, oh, so the one guy he said, who's the player you've assisted most in your career? And I think number one for D'Lo was Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
So he knows how to play with him. We got slot.
Denver. A trade. Denver Nuggets are trading Michael Porter Jr. and an unprotected 2032 first round pick to the Nets for Cam Johnson.
Whoa!
There's our first big one.
There's
a big one. We got a first big one, baby.
Let's go Nuggets. I love that for them.
So that's great. Love it. First off, I understand why the Nets are doing it.
It's a lot of risk. I will say that. Like 2032 pick, that could be a big one.
You have Jokic in his prime. Who gives a fuck, dude?
Yeah, that's so far out, dude.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Right now, pushing the chips, dude.
Might as well, though.
Yeah, you have a top 10 player all time in his prime.
Like, that's what I'm saying. I mean, like, I get what I'm just saying. Like, there is upside here for the Nets. Like, substantial.
Sure. I mean, it makes sense for the Nets.
7 years from now, sure. Yeah, absolutely. I'm not saying I understand why both teams are doing it because the thing is that Cam Johnson was probably going to get you 2 first-round picks back, and they probably weren't going to be good. They were probably going to be like middling first-round picks. I think Cam Johnson is one of the more, like, before this year, I had been saying he's one of the most underrated players in the NBA. And now I feel like he is a properly rated player because everyone realized how good he was. I mean, you're basically replacing Michael Porter Jr. with the idealized version of Michael Porter Jr., who could play in the playoffs. He's played well in the playoffs in the past. I mean, he was good in the finals that one year. You had like 1 or 2 really good games. He was great in the Sixers series a few years ago with the Nets. I think that this is a perfect kind of fit, and I totally get why both teams are doing it.
Also, the fact that they were able to do this like immediately with the new front office group is just like more evidence that whenever you guys do the slop trial of Calvin Booth, he is guilty.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And like you're to the point where like if your team's like I've been saying this about these teams like the Bucks and the Lakers and the Nuggets that are just so like asset poor but have superstar level players. You need to maximize those little things that you've left.
Ty Jerome to the Grizzlies, 3 years, $28 million.
Okay, we knew that was going to happen.
That's like really not a lot for the year that he had.
We can't hear you, Will.
I'm taking him off spotlight.
Why does this happen every time?
I did that because I thought it was funny, but now I can't get it to stop doing that.
Amazing.
That makes it funnier, by the way.
All right, we have Will Nets fan here to give his opinion.
Can I be heard?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think you guys basically got it where, like, I stole my whole flow. What I was going to say, like, oh, they probably wanted 2 firsts, but they weren't going to be good firsts. And this is an extremely high upside first because Jokic is 30, right?
Mm-hmm.
30, 31.
Yeah.
So is Jokic really going to be a guy who plays into his late 30s? I mean,
Probably
I
not.
don't. And
is he going to be on the Nuggets? Like,
Yeah.
I think this is a home run for Denver though,
Sure.
because Cam Johnson's like I even from when the Nets first got Bridges and Johnson, and when I watched them play, like history vindicated me. I was like, I don't really think there's a big gap between these two players.
Yeah.
And the perception, especially when they first got to the Nets, was that McHale was like way, way better. And Nets fans wanted to fucking use a first round pick to dump Cam Johnson last year.
sure.
They hate good players. But I think MPJ will be good because, he'll chuck up a bunch of threes, but he won't win you games because he's a bozo. I mean, I think he'll stick around because I don't think he's going to have I'd love to flip him for more stuff, but I don't think it'll be there.
Yeah, what,
I think
2
there's a
years
home run
left
for
on the
Denver.
deal?
I don't know.
I think
Yeah,
it's 2 years left.
That's what I was just looking up. So it is.
Yeah, and the
2
Nuggets
years,
save a lot of money here, I think.
Yeah, I was going to say Cam Johnson
well-
makes way less than
2
MPJ.
years, but there's also a non-guarantee on the last year for Michael Porter Jr. So it's
MPJ.
Bagberg.
It's actually like even less. Schroeder to the Kings, by the way.
Yeah, what are the Kings doing? What are they ever doing?
That's
I mean,
kind of
that's it's better than Russell Westbrook, which would have been
That's
a
a-
nightmare for them.
Speaking of the Kings, can we discuss the teams interested in Jonathan Kuminga?
Yeah,
All of the
That was
dumbest
the
teams,
funniest
including my
shit in
Bulls.
the world. It was just the worst team.
Yeah, actually, read down the list.
Yeah, what was it? It was Kings,
Pelicans.
Bulls, Pelicans, Heat, right?
Literally, the only dumb team that wasn't on the list was the Nets, and I only think the Nets are dumb because of their draft.
Oh yeah. Oh wow. This is basically an expiring because it's only.
That's what I'm
12
saying.
million
It's a pretty
guaranteed.
big non-guarantee. So like,
Yeah.
that's a
So
lot of
it's-
upside for the Nets, to be totally honest. Like,
Because it's a huge number this year. It's like the Nuggets are saving a ton of money here. I think they're saving $16 million this season.
I wonder if that frees them up to like go get anybody
Well,
with like the MLE or something.
I kind of think you guys might be able to flip him in some way at the deadline too. Like
Because of
for
the
more
non-guarantee?
years to like
Yeah.
a team
What- yeah, 'cause
might
it's
wanna
basically
re-sign him. Yeah.
a giant expiring contract because
Yeah.
it's less than the MLE next in the following year to tell them to go away.
Yeah. And at that point, you can probably renegotiate. You know what I'm saying? If you're a team that's trading for Michael Porter Jr. at the trade deadline this year, you're probably going to want him back a little bit in like some capacity,
for
at a
3
lesser
for
number.
70 or whatever. it
Yeah,
is.
or something like that. So like, I think honestly, like, look, great deal for the Nuggets. I kind of like this for the Nets. I'm going to be honest. I would like you guys just said, I would rather have one really big swing good pick than like 2 picks that are going to be like
the Nets
17
have
and
plenty
21.
of bad picks. They need juicy upside picks.
That's exactly what I've been thinking, is the fact that, and we just saw like what the Jazz did where they traded a bunch of their mid first for an unprotected Phoenix pick years out. Those are the kind of moves I'd be making if I were a rebuilding team, because these picks always turn into picks in the 20s when you're trading with good teams, and then they end up not really benefiting you that much unless you have like an insane scouting staff. And we just learned the Nets do not have an insane scouting staff.
Yeah,
so
the Nets have the biggest scouting staff in the league, and they just took the whole year off. They just read a mock draft from October, and we're just like, oh, Seraph is number 4, and he's still available at 19. Take him.
I think
Amazing.
I think having that big of a staff was actually just a too many cooks situation. They probably just had
Porter
too many
Jr. back
opinions.
to the Bucks, by the way.
Gross.
How much for him?
11 million for 2 years, I think. Yeah, 2
That's
year,
good
11
value
million
for what
value
he
deal.
is. But
Yeah, but he's
what it is.
gross.
Yeah, he's gross. Yeah. But sorry, I don't want to like jump all over everything, but like, I think losing Schroeder kind of matters for the Pistons. I'm not kidding. Like, I'm not.
Hold on.
I don't disagree.
I don't disagree with that. I'm just laughing at Ramona Shelburne's PR spin here. Knicks are excited about Michael Porter Jr. and the intent is to keep him. Awesome.
It's funny seeing Ramona try to like become a Ramore onto like a different set of
MPJ.
franchises.
Well, LeBron
does-
might not be with the Lakers much longer, and Jeannie's gone. So
Yeah, Jeannie was her source. For,
yeah,
like,
Jeannie was like
everything.
her girl boss.
Because it's just everybody else on the Nets is just going to be swinging the ball around, and it's always going to end up with MPJ, and he's always going to shoot it. It's going to be a movie.
So
Cinema.
Tom
Are
has
you
a good,
worried? Sorry, continue.
I was just gonna say Tom has a good point. Ivy's back next year.
Oh yeah, duh.
But my only thing there though is I don't know if like Ivy like running your second unit. You know what I'm saying? I like Ivy playing with Cade quite a bit. I thought that looked really good when like we got a chance to see it last year. Yeah. But I don't know if I don't know if that's like a maximized. I kind of like Ivy kind of like as the attack guy. I don't really like him as the guy who's like kind of setting things up. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
I'd like to get him the ball on the move.
I've said before, his most optimized role is backseat when we had Harden.
Yeah.
This is an extremely calculator rat take of me, but Ivy had a little bit of what I would call a 2021 RJ Barrett season.
Sure.
Where it's a bit of a red flag. It's a bit of a red flag to me that he shot 41% from three and his true shooting was still kind of bad.
I agree with that.
I
also,
don't really
he got
think
hurt
he's
and they
that
got
good
better.
a shooter. That too.
Yeah.
Like I think him getting hurt was part of a big part of their defensive because their defense really took off. Their offense was not very good all season. And I think Ivy was a big part of
this is Tom's this is a better point from Tom in my opinion. Schroeder's the kind of guy that first off, I think he's the most roulette wheel player we have left in the NBA where you can never predict whether Dennis Schroeder is going to be good for your team or not. He goes to like he sucked ass on the Warriors and then he was good for the Pistons. He was good for the Nets. He sucked ass on the Lakers once. He was okay on the Lakers another time. It's just Russ is another guy in there where it's just impossible to determine whether they're going to be good. By the way, I do NBA University just pointed this out. It's interesting. Yeah. The Nuggets have the full MLE after this trade because they saved $17 million.
Yeah, I was saying that a second ago that I was wondering if they're going to make a run at somebody on the MLE. If they get two,
this might be why people are waiting.
Yeah, they could get Bruce Brown back.
An upgrade on MPJ and then like signing somebody.
Turning MPJ into first into Cam J and Bruce Brown would be huge.
Yeah, I was literally.
I don't know if I'd even go for Bruce because he's bad. But
hear me out here. What if we just tried to reassemble the 2023 team? Bring back Bruce Brown, Cam Johnson, just good Michael Porter Jr.
Yeah, Michael Porter Jr. before he started to suck. Before everyone figured out that he can't dribble and that if you just take away his airspace on those DHOs, he can't do anything.
Or like, maybe if the Nuggets could get, because I don't think either of these guys command a full MLE. If they could get like Cornette and Bruce Brown, I think that would be a movie for them because then you have a competent back.
Yeah, Bruce Brown has been kind of bad since he left Denver.
I think he'd be good again back playing off Jokic.
No, I know, but I'm just saying in terms of what his market is, it's probably not like
Bruce Brown to the Nuggets. There it
goes. Yeah, we were right on it. Yeah.
Yep.
We nailed that one.
There you go.
No numbers
said,
yet.
Like
Good
the
call,
moment he left, like I'd love to go back to Denver. Like he's kind of been flirting with them pretty much since the moment he left.
Demon Ben Tenzer is cooking.
Also, this might be the minimum.
No way.
There's no numbers yet. So
if there's no number, that usually means the minimum.
That would be
Keep in mind, Bruce Brown was kind of bad the last 2 years and really liked playing for the Nuggets.
He did get his money.
Oh, sorry. I thought that was Cornette to the Spurs. I was about to.
Oh, I would have. Yeah, I would have.
Nuggets.
Yeah, if I'm a Nuggets fan, I'm going ballistic right now.
Yeah, Nuggets are up right
now.
Yeah,
they're. Yeah, I might pick them. They might be my new team in the West.
MPJ, like noticeably better.
Yeah. He's like
a thing though that I don't love about it is they now go from like their size is now pretty average, I would say. And I think a big part of their title run was them being fucking huge.
Yeah.
And just owning teams on the boards. And going from MPJ to Cam Johnson is a real
that was the one thing that MPJ was really good at was crashing the glass.
I don't disagree with that, but the way that Aaron Gordon can shoot now is another factor. Aaron Gordon's coming off a year where he shot like 40% from three. And so now they have spacing, like immaculate spacing pretty much across the board.
Is Duran going to be back, by the way? Like, I know
I would imagine, yeah.
Duran Holmes.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's any good, but.
Well, he hasn't played in the league at all.
I know.
We liked him.
We
really
I liked him in the draft, but yeah.
I'm just saying in terms of like guys that could provide you more size, like if he's back and he's any good at all, like that would help.
Shoot? I don't really remember anything about him.
Not really.
He's like Obi Toppin kind of, right?
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
They're going to get plus size. Here's the thing. They're getting plus size at the three because whichever of Cam Johnson or Aaron Gordon is playing the three, you're going to be big there. Kevin Looney 2-year deal, $16 million to the Pelicans.
What?
Wow.
Loondog is leaving the Warriors?
Loondog.
Wait, where do you see that?
Shams.
I don't know why it didn't come to my phone. That's awful. He's going to be horrific. Dude, every year Looney is like I think he's the most washed player in the NBA. And then by the playoffs, he's good.
Yeah.
But they won't.
The Pelicans will not be in the playoffs.
They gave him $16 million, so $8 per year.
He's terrible.
He's not going to be good anywhere but the Warriors.
First of all, he's going to play like maybe 30 games. And when he does, he'll be awful.
Begley saying the Knicks are Jordan Clarkson.
Bro, they should get Clarkson and Westbrook. Leon Rose just thinks filling out a roster should be all 6-foot guards.
Russell, wait. No, never mind. Sorry, wrong thing.
That's dude.
Sorry, I got.
That is the grossest team we've seen in a while.
We just lost Trill.
Yeah, Trill got too excited.
So what's the rotation in New Orleans? So they're starting.
Oh my god, dude, it's vile, man. So no,
okay,
it's Fears. Are they starting Fears?
I think you have to start Fears assuming DeJounte's out.
Yeah.
And then the wings. Okay, the wings are good. The Murphy, Herb Jones, Sam's two favorite players in the NBA.
Correct.
Background audio. There's someone that has background audio going on right now. Is there a TV on or something? I don't think it's me. I could hear it.
It is possible. It is me. My brother is giving a sermon in the remote work.
Okay, gotcha.
No. Cook.
Just when you're not talking, just okay. Yeah. Some people say they don't hear it, so it's fine.
I hear it a little bit, but not enough
to
annoy me.
No, they'll probably just go big and start Poole, Murphy, Herb, Zion, and then I guess you start Queen day one.
Yeah, I get. Yeah.
And then Fears is your sixth man.
The Pelicans suck, dude.
Brian's pointing out that Trill Sonos headphones are too good. He's
that's why you
too
can
much audio.
That's why you can hear Will's brother.
By the way,
my Sony's didn't pick that up. It was only the Sonos.
Of course.
Of course he does.
HB loving it is awesome. Sure. My man.
How did Looney get more than Day'Ron Sharp? I don't understand anything.
Because Day'Ron is just not washed Looney.
Yeah.
He's also 23.
There is not Evan. You're lying. There's not significant.
Dude, can we get Evan on a stream this week? Because I assume you guys are streaming.
Evan's been in here.
Like he might be in chat.
Yeah,
Evan, if you're in chat.
Evan, I don't believe you. I don't believe that there's.
Tell him to unblock me on Twitter. I've seen the light. He's hilarious.
We don't believe you. Need more people. He called the Dorian Finney-Smith thing, by the way. He was the first person I saw post about that.
I heard about that. Are we sure
the
Rockets want to pay Tari?
Because I'm not positive.
Because he's had weird medical stuff. He basically missed his whole second year. He got injured again this year.
He was kind of bad in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Zion just wish cashes everything with the Rockets.
He says yes.
Like today, he's like, Dylan Brooks actually sucked on defense. Like, shut up.
Sure. Who said that?
He's always right. Zion says always right. I mean, he cooked on Kevin Durant. That was a cooking.
I think this is a veteran's minimum for Bruce Brown.
That's awesome, dude. They're going to be. I think the Nuggets are back. Then
I think I'm going to pick them to win.
I was going to say I might pick.
If they have like one more solid, if they got like Cornette.
Who are the best free agents left, other than like Cornette and Horford?
Oh man, Horford would be, dude.
We haven't had the.
You should give the full MLE to Nickeil Alexander-Walker.
We haven't gotten the Giddy bomb yet.
But do you really? But is Nickeil Alexander-Walker and Bruce Brown not a little redundant? I know they're
sure. I mean, Nickeil Alexander-Walker's just younger and better at this point, but
yeah, I guess if you're just recreating the title team, you think of that as
the KCP.
Shut up, Shams.
What did he say?
He said an end of an era with Kevon Looney going to New Orleans. Shut the fuck up! Like God,
he was not on the first title team, right?
Yeah. No. Well, he might have been a.
Warriors are locked in on an agreement with Al Horford. Oh, that's been rumored, but is that like? Is Siegel saying that's happening, or?
I think he's
using Woj language to suggest that it is definitely happening. But
the Warriors are creating the Warriors are creating the oldest, smartest team in the NBA.
I'm sorry, I have to just try and share using my phone what Zian has sent me. My fucking thing's too bright. I have been sent a disgusting graph from Zian saying Dylan Brooks actually sucks on defense.
Is it a Darko chart?
No, it's literally just ISO defense bar graphs. And then I just got a message saying 5 more are coming.
Let's go. Amazing.
They
are, the Warriors are going to have Has any team ever started a starting lineup of guys exclusively 35 years old
or
more?
older?
Yeah. Every member of the Warriors is going to be older than me.
That's crazy. They're all going to be like my age.
Yeah, like it's going to be like it's going to be a movie. It's going to be like 4 guys that old in pods. Yeah, exactly. Yes.
It's going to be like this. It's going to be like this stream with Will being in the pods role.
Yeah.
All guys in their mid to late 30s, and then Will, who is Brandon Podjimski.
It's me.
Brandon Podcast.
I'm still under 25.
Yep.
6 more weeks.
Let's go. This is the young ceiling is crazy. No, I mean I think the Nuggets are definitely my big winners so far.
Yeah. I would say they've been crushing.
I'm pretty low. Like I think that pick could be a disaster. Like I think they could be giving out like a top 3 pick in 2032, but also you have Jokic right now.
You have Jokic now.
You have to do it. Yeah.
If you give up the 9th pick in 8 years and you won a second title,
who cares?
Nobody's going to give a flying.
Or even if you make the finals, you always try to maximize.
This will be
that's
really
why
big.
Look, the Bucks are paying for it now with Giannis, but like worth it. Who gives a fuck?
The difference, I think there is an enormous difference in Johnson and MPJ in their ability to run a little bit of secondary offense.
Sure.
Which I think is going to be huge for them.
I think Cam Johnson's going to tack off the bounce.
I think Cam Johnson had like 5 assists like 20 times this season, and I think MPJ has 1 5-assist game ever.
MPJ like low key has sucked in the playoffs for
every year.
Playoff runs.
And Cam Johnson's been a good playoff player his entire career.
Yeah.
He's like a career 65 TS.
He's like, I can't believe I didn't think of it. I guess I just didn't think the Nuggets had a path to get him, but like he's perfect for the Nuggets.
Well, they only opened up that 2032 pick to be able to be traded
this week.
It
has to be after the draft, right?
Yeah.
The Nuggets might have won the finals this year if they had Cam Johnson instead of Michael Porter Jr.
Dude, MPJ averaged like 7 points on 35% shooting.
Yeah, MPJ was horrible. For them.
Also, I don't care that he was injured. He was not injured in the finals run, and he was the worst player on the court in the finals.
Always injured, which Cam Johnson is.
Yeah. As is Cam Johnson.
Cam doesn't have a great bill of health.
That's actually that's why I was
chronic health issues though.
Yeah, like
MPJ he gets nicked up here and there. He doesn't have like a chronic back problem.
Also,
Luke Cornett signed with the Spurs. No,
there you go. They called it. Whoever called that earlier.
Wow, the Celtics center rotation is going to be so bad.
Dude, Amari Williams, you are my god.
Yeah, Sam, I hate to break it to you. Amari Williams played 21 minutes last year in college. I don't give a shit. A ton of
I don't care. You hater. I've watched that. You're looking at the British, American, Chinese Jokic, and you shut your mouth when you're talking to him.
This actually has two wrinkles because it probably means that Yabu goes back to the Sixers, which is big. But I literally said if I were the Spurs, I would rather get Luke Cornett than Yabu because I just think that he's a better player. And then 2, the Cornett thing, I just want to. There are multiple things happening here. First off, Sam, if you want to bank on one of the guys you drafted in the second round, Max Shulga has a better chance of being an NBA player than Amari Williams. Second off,
where is Shulga going to play? We have guards. You don't have anyone. So many guards. We have so many guards. We have Derek White. We have Jaylen Brown. We have.
I guess your whole team is guards now. Sure.
That's what I'm saying.
If you don't make those
he's not
trades,
going to play.
then
He's not going to play next year. So.
Saluting Luke Cornett.
I'm still saluting Luke Cornett. Like thank you, Luke. You were a quirked up white boy.
Just make sure you don't go forward too fast when you do this.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna. No, we're going.
Thank you. When you're saluting Luke Cornett, don't do this too fast.
No, I'm just. I'm doing
that.
Yeah.
No, you want to do it very fast because otherwise, if you go too slow, people will be able. Able to screen grab it.
Aaron Rodgers style.
How much of the Luke Cornett contract was because of the Game 5 versus the Knicks? How much does he sign for if that game
was amazing. I got owned because I was like, this is just Celtics
I think he gets like the Dayron Sharp contract if it's not for that game.
No, I mean, it's a lot of money, but the Spurs haven't really gotten a ton of free agents, and they just need good players. The other wrinkle here, Sam, you're underestimating something right now. It's possible that Mamu is now available.
He's a demon.
Mamu, I like Mamu, like unironically.
He scored 34 points in 19 minutes.
Mamu? Okay, hold on. Mamu at the power forward. Hold on.
Sam,
you shouldn't have told me that because now I want this more than anything I've ever wanted in my entire life. Like, let's go. Let's go. Bring him home. But the problem is we don't have money to spend. That's why we drafted all of these guys and we traded back. Like, I don't think we're actually going to. Is Mamu. I think if Mamu gets $1 over the minimum, he's
getting the minimum if he stays in the NBA. Some people are saying he might go back to Europe, which is crazy. I thought he was actually pretty good when he got the chance last year. But
I think he's good. Like, I really think he's good. Like,
well, he's in that zone though where he's like, so like he's good enough that he could probably make more money in the EuroLeague than like the minimum.
Probably, yeah,
in the
or
NBA.
around the same. Well, that's the thing is that the
and you play half as many
players
games in the EuroLeague.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Yabu's going to stay here because he can make $5 or $6 million, and you're not going to make that in Europe. But if you're a minimum player, it doesn't make sense not to go back. When you're an older minimum player that can actually make real money in the EuroLeague, like it makes total sense. By the way, I just want to put this out.
Gonzalez for Mamu, who says no.
You don't. I mean, you could just sign him. You don't. He's a free agent. He's an unrestricted.
Yeah,
free agent.
no. But we should do a sign and trade for Hugo Gonzalez.
You just want to get rid of Hugo.
So I want to say, I respect to this guy who, and he's right. I appreciate Sean Marks making a trade that helps his successor.
Yeah,
he's not focused on.
He ain't gonna be here.
Yeah,
I'm not going
to
be here.
And the Nets cap space is
Clint Capella
to the
Rockets.
Back
Back to
home.
the Rockets.
But they already have Steven Adams.
$7 million per
for a third big
3-year, $21 million deal.
Do you think they're going to play the double?
Wait, how does that work? How does this work?
I don't know. That's like, it's kind of weird.
Going to be
that's got to be a sign and trade.
I think they got.
They're out of space, aren't they?
I think they got Capella and Adams to basically like play alternate nights.
Is this the BAE maybe?
Yeah, it might be the biannual. Yeah,
it's the biannual is $7 million.
I don't know. I'm just I don't know.
No, that sounds right to me, Will.
It's something like that.
No,
it's like
they're
more
saying
than
it's only 5.1.
Huh.
Rockets don't have it.
The room exception is like $9 million, but they don't have that.
Yeah, they were never under
the MLE.
Yeah,
you can't use the MLE and the room exception. They're incompatible.
Yeah, they're incompatible because of the things. But here's the thing, though. Like, who was their other? Because they did use the MLE, right?
It might be for Jock Landale, and like they send seconds.
Oh,
they might just guarantee his contract.
Yeah. No, that's probably.
And then send seconds.
Right. Yeah.
Jock,
but then they're hard capped at the first.
Sure.
Yeah, but why do they care?
Weird move.
This is a weird signing.
Yeah, it's weird though.
Why do they care? They have like
trade.
I do agree with Kevin. They just be like, Capella, you're washed, but you're a fine backup center. Sure. You're going to be our backup center all regular season, and then in the playoffs, Steven Adams is going to be our backup center.
Also, I heard that Eric Gordon might go back to the Rockets, so that would be very funny if
they're just stealing the Daryl Morey meme of another mid-level
are.
exception to a washed 2017 Rocket.
Yeah. Well, I don't have any secret slop on the Sixers. No. Oh, the only thing I heard is that they're trying to salary dump Andre Drummond, which makes sense because then they can get access to the taxpayer MLE. But that they probably just give that
the net space
or
is
they give that
basically
to Yabu.
gone. By the way, I was looking.
So that's the other part of this is that Grimes now has no counter because the Nets cap space.
Yeah, because they have 17 million in space right now. If they waive non-guarantee guys, it would be 25 million. But they're going to give Cam Thomas like 15, 20, like 20 million.
Yeah,
maybe I think that was the domino that teams were waiting to fall was for the Nets to run out of cap space so they could
I agree
start squeezing their.
Although
guys.
I wonder if Zach Lowe knew something because he said on his show, "I don't expect the Nets space to last long," and they
probably
used
knew
a
about
lot
this,
of it.
yeah.
I think he has contacts at the Nets. He's always in Barclays Center.
And I think he's pretty tapped in with the Nuggets too.
Yeah, I think I think more of that. He hates.
Actually, I shouldn't say I think he is. I know he's tapped in with the Nuggets.
I remember it was really sad. It was a really sad segment of the Low Post, but it was it's going to be a sign and trade. I think they'll probably guarantee
Karis LeVert 2 years, $29 million with the Pistons. Bartlestein.
People were saying that's a lot for LeVert.
How much?
15 per year. So it's
full
2
MLE,
years, $29 million. Yeah.
So Nas going to the Hawks then, right?
So yeah, the Pistons cap space is gone now because they had a little bit of cap space.
But the thing it was a really sad Low Post segment where they discussed the Eastern Conference play-in race.
Oh, no, to the Hawks.
2024.
Oh no, they're just saying.
And the Nets.
Because they have...
Did we get it?
No, they're saying because there's no other cap space.
Yeah. But the Nets were like a game out of the 10 seed, and Zach was like, I don't want to talk about this team. This team is boring. They're stupid. And the Raptors were like 7 games out of the 10 seed, and they were like, but we got to talk about the Raptors. You know, they're getting Emmanuel Quickley back. They got RJ Barrett playing the best ball of his career.
Did you see the? Hold on. Did you see the clip that I posted yesterday where Zach made like a light criticism of the Raptors, and then he was like, and by the way, I love Toronto. I was like, are you being
my second home?
Yeah. I love T-Dot. By the way, look at Chris Haynes' image that he posted for D'Angelo Russell signing in Dallas. That is AI, brother. Look at that.
Dallas.
The Dalliers. Not Dallas. Dalliers.
Oh my God. He literally posted an AI generated image. Yeah.
Amazing.
Dalliers.
This man doesn't even have an intern to do Photoshop.
Yeah, so I don't think
the Nuggets
can get Nickeil Alexander, because I think the Hawks have a TPE where they can go a bit above the MLE, and the Nuggets cannot.
Yeah.
Who are the best guys?
Nickeil Alexander Walker's the best guy left, I think.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but besides him.
Horford.
Yeah.
Nickeil Alexander Walker.
Kaminga.
Well, he's
stunts.
He
yeah.
sucks.
Okay. But UDFA is what you're saying, Will, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
not a lot of guys.
Karis LeVert, big beneficiary from Beasley getting busted for gambling.
Yeah, that's really funny. He probably got like double the salary he would have.
Dog, did you guys hear Bill talking about that? Where Bill was like, yeah, I feel bad for Beasley. Really badly reported story.
Trying to defend gambling.
trying to like ignore the fucking obvious thing.
The elephant in the room that
he's
funded by gambling.
Yeah, exactly.
What were the odds? What were the odds on this one, Russillo? Was it plus 500 for Malik Beasley to be suspended by the league for rigging?
Did you guys talk about yet that Terry Rozier was exonerated?
Fully innocent.
No wrongdoing.
Free my hand.
I have a gross Nuggets target. Don't laugh.
Okay.
I kind of like Precious Achua for them.
That's not bad. They need we're talking about
if Day'Ron Holmes is cooked.
Yeah, but isn't he more an offense guy though?
No way.
He is.
You're just like saying the opposite.
You're correct, Will. HP basketball have a good opinion one time.
Dude, he's
unbelievable.
How do you have the wrong opinion every time? Yeah. They have to. By the way, somebody said that they did confirm that Bruce Brown was a minimum.
That's a steal. Is he just going to try and do the exact same thing where he takes less to go play with Jokic, has a great year, and
the Nuggets should give Horford the full MLE?
Ooh, yeah, I would like that actually
because he can play with him. He can be the backup and play with Jokic.
Dude,
we've never seen that before.
Horford and Jokic would be a fucking movie, dude.
It would also be another narrative battle for the Sixers to lose.
Yeah, they would win the championship for sure.
And then people would be like, "See, Embiid was the problem."
Yep. Wow, that's actually good. That's definitely going to happen.
Yeah.
God damn it. No, he's going to the Warriors. I mean, the Warriors are trying to build the supercomputer brain genius team that's also 75 years old.
So is Westbrook going to the Knicks? That would be really funny. I think that should happen. I think it would be very entertaining. It sounds like Mike Brown's going to get the job.
Dog, are we going to get Russell Westbrook?
I love to fire my coach and then hire the worst version of him.
Yeah, I really would be like... I have been really shocked by this whole process. I kind of assumed when they fired him, they had a guy ready to go.
Well, yeah, you assumed that they were competent because they have been run competently for like the last half decade. And nope, the same old.
Also, if you're one of these minimum guys, I wouldn't want to sign to a team where I don't know who the coach is. Like, because I feel like if you're a minimum guy anyways, the coach matters a lot because it's a tiebreaker.
Yeah,
I don't disagree.
I can't remember the last time a team didn't have a coach like post draft free agency as a serious team.
It's kind of crazy that they've gone this long. Although my coaches don't matter theory could be thriving if they end up hiring someone and then making the finals.
Well, famously, it's gone great for the other teams that have fired Tibbs after getting rid of him. So it should be all good.
Yeah, it's not really been a great history.
As soon as they fired him, I was like, yes, the Knicks are back in piss and shit.
Well, when I heard that they were getting, I mean, we haven't gotten any legit reports about this, to be clear. But when I heard people theorizing that LeBron could go there, I'm like, oh no, the Knicks are back to chasing big names.
Okay, this is a Sam Sheehan take. But
okay, Cook.
Are we like? I think a Towns LeBron trade makes the Knicks worse.
I think
Like-
you're cooking. I think that's true.
Towns' size and rebounding is so important. Like LeBron misses like 30 games a year. He doesn't play any defense. Like maybe in the playoffs, but they're
A locked in
playoff
LeBron
stuff
one
was
last time in a
stuff.
weak Eastern Conference feels like it could be like the ending to like the
Okay.
story about his life.
But what the F do they do if that happened? When Mitchell Robinson inevitably misses 2 months,
That's the problem, is that they don't
Then-
have it. This
then
is
you're-
always
you're
the problem
running
with the Knicks.
LeBron and OG as your 4 and 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, Huck Porty with his -6 EPM or whatever.
Will, you were
Can't
really
make a
cooking when
layup.
you were talking about how we were back in the era of a new golden age of bad GMing.
Dude,
I
clown
love
show teams are so back. That
Dumb-
Looney
dumb
contract
GMs.
is hilarious.
Yeah.
You know what it is? It's the fact that like teams are smarter than ever, so they have to take like crazy swings and hope that they get lucky off of some variance.
Yeah.
Like they're just like everybody's kind of like on an even playing field with like the analytics and stuff. So it's just like you just have to go based on gut and feel and like and so it's just like it separates
I have a
the
different
guys
opinion on this,
who
by the
no
way.
ball from the other ones.
I think it's because we're trying to invade another country in the Middle East, and this can only happen when we're trying to
Boots on the ground
Cook.
in the Middle East.
it's literally just like imperialism leads
what's-
to people losing their minds.
This
Well,
is the
that's
new
a-
version of
that's-
blowback.
I was gonna say that is good. Yeah, the new blowback is yeah.
No, and you want to
yeah.
come up on stage and discuss this with us?
Yeah, let's get Noah up here. No, but what I think is significant about the new like genre, the new class of bad GMs that we have in the NBA is that these guys used to be good. A lot of them. I know you
Yeah.
disagree with me on Marks, but like Masai, I think pretty unequivocally was a good GM. And I
Dumars
feel-
was a great GM for the first 6 years of his career.
yeah. Like that.
Even
is
Presti
new.
had a bad run for a bit there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
Like
a
the-
disaster run, but a
Well,
pretty,
yeah,
pretty
when Presti
good
Danny
had
run.
Troy,
Ainge?
when Presti had Troy Weaver working for him, he was bad.
That's
like-
another- yeah.
I would argue he was really bad, like surrounding KD and Westbrook with guys.
Yeah, I agree.
Like,
Yeah.
But that was
really
also.
bad.
But by the way, the rumor was that the guy who loved, which has proven to be true in time, the guy who loves long athletic guys is Troy Weaver, and he was the one drafting for them.
Dude, we're gonna send Zaire Williams to the Pelicans for a first, and I'm gonna be so hyped.
A first that then
Danny-
you'll
But
you'll
I
draft
don't disagree that
somebody who-
Presti was.
Then we'll
for-
draft another Israeli point guard who can't shoot.
Dude, but
Awesome.
Danny Ainge is bad now too. This is what I'm saying. These guys used to be the
Yeah.
demons. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
These guys
Everyone
used to be
gets-
the demons. Like
I do think.
I think
that
everyone
a
has
lot-
good and bad runs when you're a GM for a
Exactly.
really long time.
that's true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sam's always said this. Sam is
Yeah.
like, you get on hot streaks where you're like, oh, cool. We drafted Pascal Siakam, got Fred VanVleet as an undrafted free. Can you mute your mic? Well, this is going crazy in the background. OG Anunoby, I knew it was Will because he's in New York.
Yeah,
Um,
Zoran has made the cops illegal, so now crime is everywhere.
Yeah,
Pray
everyone
for
is everyone
Pray
is
for
gay and doing crime now in New York.
Hate crime. All
No, I called the police because somebody threatened to not convert to Islam, which is now illegal.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. But no, all these GMs have, hot streaks, like the Masai run of what the Lowry trade. Well, I guess that was just before he got there. They traded for Lowry, but the 2014 to 2019 run from Masai was an all-time heater.
Yeah.
And then oh, well, he didn't care anymore. Okay, well, that's I'm going to judge you based on that. If you don't give a fuck about your job, then you're
bad at your job.
bad at your job. Yeah, exactly. Like, well, he wasn't making the decisions. This is the Jazz fans that are yelling at me. Danny Ainge doesn't make the decisions. And I'm like, yes, he does. They
He
pay
hired
him
his
like
Nepo
$10 million
son.
a year. Come
Also,
on.
he made the decision to hire his Nepo son, who then
Yeah, exactly.
made a bunch of bad decisions.
That's like saying, oh no, Varus is just he's just the attendant in the thing. He doesn't actually do anything. Danny Ainge is a eunuch. He is the Mormon eunuch prince of all of it. I know he has 8 billion grandchildren. Those children were made in vitro. Like these are in vitro Mormon grandchildren.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Haynes must have gotten called out for using AI because he fixed the image of D'Angelo Russell, and now it says Dallas.
Sorry,
And it's
not
the
in
same
Utah.
exact photo.
What did I mean?
So he
It's-
went back into Grok.
and told him to fix it.
Grok.
He went back into Grok and was like, Grok, everyone yelled at me. Can you please fix this?
What do you call it? What do you call test tube babies? I got that wrong.
In utero?
Is it in utero? Did I get that
No,
right?
in vitro.
In vitro. That's what I got wrong.
In
Yeah.
utero is
is
when
the
you're in
Nirvana
the
album.
womb.
When you're in the thing. Yeah, I thought about it for a second. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm a moron. That's like not correct.
Yeah.
Ivy League
Fine.
education.
Close
by the way.
enough. We knew what you meant.
If you ever hear anyone bragging about their Ivy League education, think about me and how stupid I am on like a day in, day out basis.
Oh my God, you slightly got something. I can't pronounce anyone's name. I talked to my mom. I was talking about my mom about this. You know, you realize things that you have in common with your parents.
Yeah.
Like my dad and I both hate going to the grocery store because it's a horrible sensory experience. You can lead to what you want to believe based off that piece of information about us. But me and my mom was trying to pronounce a name the other day and couldn't. I was like, that's where I get it from. She has.
Yeah.
I got the dyslexia from
Did
her.
we just get Theo Pinson slop?
No way.
He just tweeted LeBron's leaving LA.
And Windhorse apparently also
Yeah,
said
Windhorse said it's the beginning of the end of the
for-
Lakers with LeBron.
So it's either I said what my video said yesterday was this might not be they might not trade him in the next week, but he is not going to be on the Lakers a year from now. There's no way.
Dude, the D'Angelo Russell stands are victory lapping Dorian Finney-Smith leaving.
Amazing.
Like I thought he fixed the fucking team.
All right, let's talk about who could trade for LeBron if he is out.
I mean, the Knicks are, I think, number one with a bullet. Like,
I think the Knicks.
What about
the
the Sixers?
The Heat.
Sam,
No, they're not taking the Paul
This
George
is not
contract.
pandering time.
No, they're not.
Ice.
They're not. I'm dead serious. They're not taking the Paul. If the Lakers are trading him, it's for expiring contracts or contracts they could move.
You know who's dumb enough to do it and has a lot of expiring money and all
The
their
Bulls.
picks? The Bulls.
Yeah, but he's not going to have any interest in going there.
Why not?
It
It's the
needs-
Eastern Conference. It's terrible.
But it needs to be.
What
a team
about
he
like
can win
what
the
if it's like
championship on.
Hart and McHale? Does that work money wise? And then you have like Brunson, Towns, LeBron, and OG,
what about
and a bunch of scrubs.
How about the Bucks?
I don't like that. I would rather.
They don't have
I would rather
stuff.
try the cat thing. But
Yeah,
they
the-
don't want the cat contract either.
Yeah, that's what
This
I'm
is the
thinking, like,
problem. This
yeah.
is the problem with any LeBron trade is that they want to have cap space next summer, and this is why these guys keep getting bought out. Like Ayton got bought out because the Blazers don't want to
These
take
are
back
some
long
weird
term
buys.
money.
There's so much cap space next summer, but who
Yeah.
are the free agents? Luka.
KD and
Potentially-
LeBron, Luka, JJJ just got signed, so not JJJ.
The big one that people thought was realistic was
De'Aaron
Triple J.
Fox.
You know who else could be a free agent next year because he might end up getting squeezed and put on the qualifying offer? Josh Giddey.
I was probably going to say Cam Thomas, but it feels like teams are moving
Thomas
for
also,
next
yes.
summer. Like this is the summer of 2009, where like the year before LeBron, Wade, and all of them were free agents, but they're just those guys aren't there next summer. I mean,
Yeah.
I know LeBron literally is, but you get what I fucking mean. Like that caliber of player.
Yeah,
Sure.
the old washed version of them.
Like
Yeah, the
Kobe
free
White
agent,
will be a free agent. That's true.
the free
But
agent class isn't great, but they don't have any assets. You know what I mean? Oh, thank you for CC Seawall. Hey, let's go. Manchester. Oi. Thank you for Love Island. You're great. Another cultural export from the UK that, by the way, I'm glad to see. We've been watching Love Island since 2017 when it got popular in the UK. I just want to say the Love Island's popularity means that fascism is entering your country is what I have determined, because it was right after Brexit in the UK when Love Island got big. And now America's like descending, fucking speed run into fascism, and everyone loves Love Island now here. So I just want to say that is, one for one.
What if we're just getting
popular.
really into Smack Bar and Peewet? Like, what if we're doing Wigan Kebab
Oi.
speed run? Yeah,
We're slowly becoming British again. We're going back to the old us
return.
pre-revolution.
Brooke Lopez slop, $18 million deal with the Clippers.
how many years?
2 years.
2.
So 9 years, 9 per year.
I don't like that.
Actually, really like I really like that.
Look, I don't think that he set screens at least.
But
He's backing up Zubac.
It gives them
He's a
a
backup, sure.
different look.
Yeah.
Like Zubac is your more interior post.
Yeah. When I have Harden on my team, I don't love having a stretch big as opposed to like a pick and.
But you just pair Harden and Zubac, and then when it's Kawhi without Harden, that's when you give him the space and you put Brooks.
That's fine.
There.
That's fine. I really hated Brooks' fit with Luka and the Lakers. I was like, that would have been
because the Clippers have the wing athletes to help. Yeah.
Well, they have the main center. By the way, check what I just sent in the chat. Danny Goodwin was cooking, but
you guys need to get Danny on the pod.
Yeah, I've asked him to come on before, and he was supposed to come on for the trade deadline, and he didn't know how to request the stage. So I was like, where is he? And then I got a DM from him like, I didn't know how to get on stage. So Danny, if you're in chat right now and you want to come up, feel free. But I know that he's in chat sometimes. Yeah. But Danny's really funny.
Our king Danny. The real
so Ayton has to be a Laker, right? I can't imagine anything.
I guess we haven't gotten the news yet. I assumed that was done.
But and my other thing was because
it's 2 days from now.
Didn't they give LaRavia a chunk of the MLE?
They gave him $6 million, so they could give Ayton $9 million, right? Or like $8 million?
I guess that's most of what he gave up.
Yeah.
So I think
also, is it possible that they had the biannual exception? And that could have been biannual exception money. They just rounded up.
That is possible because it's always agents, so they're always inflated.
Right. Yeah, the Lakers probably
was
exception.
The BAE.
That's a good move by the Lakers to do.
I like LaRavia a lot. I wanted the Nets to give him
LaRavia and the
BAE. I wanted the Nets to give LaRavia like the Cornet deal, like lock him up on a long term. I think he's really good.
We got mixed slop on this. It's actually funny because Chris Haynes said the Lakers Ayton thing was like heating up, and someone in our Discord said that it was basically already done. Ahmed in the Discord said that he heard that it was already done, and then someone else told us that they don't like Ayton.
Okay, but I just want to say it's been the LaRavia deal is from the MLE, so they only have like $8 million left from that.
Well, his buyout was $10 million, so he could possibly lose $2 million, but it's worth the upside of losing $2 million if you're DeAndre Ayton and you can go to a team and play with Luka and potentially make a lot more money next year.
I think you're overestimating DeAndre Ayton's self-awareness.
I agree.
He was not going to play on the Blazers. They probably told him like, you're not going to get any minutes. Like you need to give some money back to get out of here and go play somewhere else.
That's exactly what happened. They couldn't find a trade. So here, just real quick on the Ayton thing. People have pointed this out. It's not a unique fact, but I do love the fact that Ayton is such a perfect Lakers signing because he's a big name, former number 1 overall pick, and he's the perfect kind of Laker that all the fans hype up. And then in December, they're sending death threats to him on Twitter and Instagram and saying he needs to hustle on defense and set screens and blah, blah, blah. Ayton is not, I want to say this is going to sound like slander towards Cat because Cat is a much better, more talented player than Ayton, but they do have similar problems in that they want to play like power forwards, but they're centers. And Cat just happens to be one of the greatest shooters of all time, and is just a much better player than Ayton. But it is kind of a similar building problem where like Ayton isn't going to do the dirty man work that you want your center to do. Like he's not going to set screens. Like this is going to be huge for the Blazers. It's addition by subtraction, I think, just because you're going to be able to play Yang Hansen and
who knew names in China works like that? I mean, it's certainly not me.
Never heard of that before. That
the names are backwards. I mean, Yao Ming, it famously
had
said
Yao
Ming
on his
fucking.
Jesus Christ.
Bill.
So dumb.
But that's great because it's also stupid because Bill thinks Capella is a starting center in 2026.
What? The Rockets do not have 3 starting centers.
Yeah, but Bill is stupid.
Steven Adams can't even play 30 minutes a game anymore because of his knee.
Yeah, but Bill saw him play well in a playoff game, so that's all he needs.
Wait, so is it Capella, Steven Adams? Şengün. Yeah, I always forget that Şengün is the center.
Yeah.
What? No, but the ghost of Usman Garuba is not doing it for you, Kevin.
So hold on. The thing I was gonna say was having Klingon and Yang Hansen set screens for Scoot, Sharp, all their guards, or even their wings, but Denny, fucking whoever, is going to be massive for them next year because Ayton is just allergic to doing that shit.
He's allergic to contact in general.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Didn't say the fact you said that someone posted yesterday, Will, about
No, that
Aiton's
was
free throw.
Kevin. I thought about the free throw rate.
I
Wasn't
thought
that
it
you,
was.
Kevin?
I thought it was.
Oh
Charles.
no, that was blocked by Bomba, who posted
Yeah,
originally.
yeah.
Yeah, it's of centers in NBA history with at least a 15% usage. So like not Capella, Daniel Gapp, like centers who occasionally get the ball.
Sure.
DeAndre Ayton has the lowest free throw rate in NBA history. The third and second lowest are Brook Lopez and Vooch. But
Both
those guys
stretch
at least
bigs.
shoot a ton of threes and are doing and do a lot of spacing the floor. Ayton doesn't even do that. So like,
and also Vooch is also like extremely averse to contact. Like,
Vooch is Ayton's best comp. I think he's like a Vooch who doesn't shoot any threes.
Yeah, which is a horrible player.
Yeah.
Also, Vooch is a much better passer than Ayton. I will give him that.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Like Bulls Vooch. I don't mean like good Vooch.
Yeah. Well, even Bulls Vooch has been like a decent passer.
The Lakers should just fucking get Claxton, man. Like Luka, like publicly has said how great he thinks Claxton is. He's a perfect fit.
They just traded Cam Johnson, so maybe they will trade Claxton.
Like,
but
the money the Lakers have the dead money to do it. Gabe Vincent and the other guy, Kleba, gets you to the salary.
Sure.
No, yeah, they could keep everybody who is even a little competent. Honestly, if the Lakers, depending on the protections on the first round pick, I'd even eat the Vanderbilt contract.
Well, would you take Vooch on his expiring deal and the Portland pick for Claxton?
Probably. I don't know, because I don't really think that pick ever conveys.
I mean, they're going to be pushing for the playoffs the next like 2 years, I think.
Yeah,
that's why they got Drew.
They probably won't make it though.
I know they're pushing for it. You know, 2 years
friends.
ago, the Nets said they were trying to make the playoffs, and they went 30-52.
Yeah.
So
the West is just so tough, and that Blazers team is decent, but like they'll be in the play-in range, and like it's no guarantee.
That's true. You know what that Blazers team is a great example of? It's like that you guys like to talk about. Like if you put this roster in like 2015,
they would be amazing.
They'd win like 53 games. Yeah.
Yeah, that Blazers team would be a fucking dynasty in 2014.
Because all you had to do 10 years ago is just have like 6 good players, and that made you like a 45-win team.
Peter, what are you doing?
He definitely meant to mute and didn't.
Sorry.
Peter demanded to come up on stage and then was immediately just like dropping shit.
He immediately did a Three Stooges pratfall, knocking down like cymbals,
oh my
pots
god!
and pans.
I added Peter to the stage so we would stop sending Shams old tweets.
I haven't done that. I was gone for an hour, bro. I don't even know what's going
Peter,
on.
I'm glad you're here.
I thought my old Shams tweet was hilarious about there being no tampering between Ben Simmons and the Lakers from 2019.
Wait, was that a real thing?
Yes, I don't know.
That was the Magic Johnson. Okay, so Magic Johnson famously said he was going to have a camp for big guards, quote unquote, and he wanted Ben Simmons to come be like part of it, and the Sixers denied the request. They were like, no, you're the GM of the Lakers. Like, you can't have a camp and be like, I'm going to have Ben Simmons come and teach kids, like, whatever. So there was a big thing where he had to, like, put out a statement and say, we're not trying to tamper with him. Yeah.
Yeah. So LeBron will not be suiting up for the Mark Walter Lakers, is what I'm thinking. Because this roster is looking
pretty grim.
Respect Jake LaRavia, Peter.
We like Jake LaRavia, but it's
Jake LaRavia being your 5th best player is pretty yikes. I'm not gonna lie.
It's grim.
We got a bang in the chat. What does that mean?
Nothing from Shams. I only have Shams on. So
yeah. I can't wait for the Curious Mike where he's just like, so tell me what's going on in Israel Palestine.
It's gonna be great.
To all his
please look at the KOC tweet I sent in the chat about the Grizzlies adding a lot of guards. I wonder why the Grizzlies are suddenly adding guards around Ja Morant. You know, if only
Grizzlies are adding a lot of guards.
There had been some sort of move in that they had made recently that would make sense where they need to add more guard play around Ja Morant. You know,
you would
it's
never
really
know.
A mystery.
Yeah.
Well, they're also hedging their bets that Ja might be washed.
Who would even trade for Ja Morant?
The Utah Jazz?
Is the Grizzlies the LeBron team? Is I guess what?
No, it's like the Suns, Clippers kind of team.
If the Jazz trade for Ja Morant,
it's not teams that have their picks. Maybe
the Kings are a great choice by Tom.
Yeah,
I was going to say, what are the teams that are interested in Jonathan Kuminga? All the dumb teams. They're the ones that would trade for Ja.
The Heat would think they could fix Ja Morant. The Heat they would probably. I bet.
Yeah, the Heat.
I mean, Bam
honestly,
and terrorism.
Maybe should trade for Ja Morant because what else are they going to do?
like Tyler Hero and 3 firsts for John Morant. I think I would do that if I was them, honestly.
What was it?
Yo, what? I just saw the Clint Capella thing.
Say that again.
Bro,
No,
Tyler
not
Hero
Clint
and
Capella.
3 firsts for John Morant.
I mean, I would not do that if I were the Heat.
Why? You
like
like
what are
Tyler
you
Hero that
doing?
much?
I mean, is John Morant good anymore? I feel like he hasn't been good in 3
Tyler
years.
Hero can shoot. Like,
Yeah, like
that's the-
look,
yeah.
I'm not like the biggest Tyler Hero fan, but like
Yes.
he just made the All-Star team and at least he plays games.
Yeah,
I just feel like
that's
John
fair.
Morant has a chance to be a franchise player again. And
Maybe.
the Heat, like, I don't think the Heat will ever suck anyways. Like, the Heat, you could give Spo like the current Nets roster, and they'd finish like 7th in defense and win 35 games. You know, like, I feel like the Heat kind of need a swing.
I feel like I feel like Tyler Hero was objectively better than John Morant last season. Am I
Probably.
wrong?
No, he was.
I mean, he probably had a better year, but I just don't think that's like.
I'm
predictive
not
of
saying
the
he's
future.
I'm not saying he's the better player. What I'm saying is that to add 3 first-round picks to a player who was better last year and plays more games just doesn't make any sense to me.
That's fair. I mean, maybe it's not 3 picks, but I would trade Hero for Ja. Like, if you had to do like 1 or 2
Straight
picks.
up, sure, fine, that's different. Like if you're trading him, but we're talking about adding 3 first-round picks to a player.
Yeah.
Whatever, 2 and Jovic. I don't know. I just was throwing shit at the wall. I wasn't
Sure.
trying to.
If Memphis never trades Ja, I feel like that's dumb.
Yeah.
John Morant is spiritually a very Charlotte Hornet player. That is true.
Swap
Ja was
challenge trade with LaMelo.
I say this as someone who was like a huge Ja guy 2 or 3 years ago, but like the last 2 years have been genuinely alarming in my opinion. Bro, he's played 59 games the last 2 years. And I know he was suspended, but then he came back and he immediately got injured.
I found this year more scary because he was not good.
Right, that was the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, he fell off like really hard this year. It was crazy.
Ja was
Yeah.
electric 2 years ago, dude. He was fucking or 3
He was
years
like the
ago.
best
Pre-
rim pressure guy in the league. Yeah, I agree with
pre
this.
that
Ja
trip
worst
to
contract
Denver. Pre that trip to Denver, he was like easy first overall future face of the league
He was awesome, dude.
What did he finish? Like 5th at MVP that year?
Mm-hmm.
in 22.
Yeah, the year they
Or-
won like 57 games or whatever.
Yeah.
7th. He averaged 27 and 6 as a 22-year-old.
Okay, also, I know
He
that
was
we
such
were
a good playmaker.
I know that we were dunking on HP for loving the Karis LeVert deal. I don't love the number, but I do actually kind of like Karis LeVert for the Pistons just because
I think
So Dennis Schroeder replacement.
I watched a lot of Karis LeVert. He sucks.
He was good on the Cavs, but then he just
like
yeah.
he's a bad player. I
I
think
just
the
need
Nah
offensive
number was too
juice.
big.
like
he was born to be the 3rd guard on the East play-in teams. Like
Who's
that
Danielle
is what
Lerner from the Houston Chronicle? Okay, she's a Rockets beat writer, and she said she thinks he's on the move, Cam Whitmore, which makes
Well,
Although
sense.
they've all been saying that there's a pretty
the
good
Bulls
chance
and the
there's a
Nuggets were
trade.
both rumored to be interested in him by Michael Scotto.
That'd be a
I-
great pickup for the Bulls.
I
I
actually
wa-
think that would be a smart flyer from a team that has nothing.
Yeah, for like
That's the
these teams that
Bulls.
just need young talent, Whitmore would be great.
The
Like he's going to play 0 minutes with their
Whitmore
current
on this
roster.
Nets team would be a movie. It's everybody on this team is either like a passer who with no gravity or the biggest ball hog you've ever seen in your life. No middle ground.
What
So maybe
team?
they're hoping that like the Nets. So
Oh,
maybe
yeah,
their
yeah.
plan is like the Cam Thomas, Cam Whitmore, MPJ. They
Setting
can
them up.
teach. They can teach Agor, Saraf, Traore how to score, and then
Yeah.
the kids who all pass can teach the scorers how to pass. You know, they'll average out to
Sure.
be good.
you've got
It'll-
you've got the guys with no gravity, and then you have the black holes with too much gravity. It's just
And then you got Derek Queen, who's got both kinds of gravity. Am I right, folks? Hey.
Mm.
Ooh.
He's a big
Ooh.
guy.
That's bad.
Right, I'm
He's a big
gonna
guy,
dip for a
folks.
bit. I'll come back if the Nets do anything meaningful.
Okay.
I need
Always a
the
pleasure.
Josh Giddey thing to be over. I just need it to be
Kevin,
over.
I have bad news for you. You're about to be locked in the Josh Giddey thing.
No. I mean, I need
for-
it to be over in terms of I need to know like what the number is, so I know how mad to be.
I will tell you right now.
He just
Oh,
Sam
God.
just
Giddey's
The
shooters got him.
Rhinestops took his fucking internet away.
Sam was just about to make a horrendous Josh Giddey joke, and they saw it coming from a mile away. What the hell's going on
What
here?
the-
This is a man that is getting ready to go for a run.
No one can hear Sam either, which is great. This is a great bit.
Your mic
Wow.
is not coming through.
No,
Oh.
no, we still can't hear you.
Still no.
Atlanta and Minnesota are in active conversations for Nickeil Alexander-Walker.
Sign and trade
What
for
are
the
they-
TPE.
Let's go. Who we getting?
You're not getting anyone.
You're just getting the TPE.
It's a TPE.
Oh shit! Yeah.
They're trading him into space.
Well, no,
You'll-
will get like a second round pick.
It will
But
be
it'll
the Buddy
like
Hield
top
thing from last year.
55 protected.
Yeah, the
second
Sixers
round
got a
pick.
fake second for
Luke
Buddy Hield last year.
Garza has agreed to a 2-year, $5.5 million contract with the Celtics.
Luka
Luke-
Garza?
Welcome to the team,
Luka
Garza.
His name is
Luka.
Take care of
Luca,
him, bro.
sir, not Luke.
Yeah,
Luka
you know
Garza.
who negotiated this one? Fucking Bartelstein, baby. We only deal with winners
Bartelstein
here.
boys.
How did you not remember Luka Garza? He won
Called him
National
Luke.
Player of the Year.
Called him Luke. No respect for
Luke
his starting
Garza.
He's
center.
never been important in the NBA. Now,
Well,
now he's
gonna
gonna
be your
more
starting
important
center,
in the
brother.
NBA.
Yeah,
No,
Great
Amari
locker room
Williams is
guy.
going to be our starting center.
we love
Everyone
Luka
loves him in the
Garza.
locker room. He'll keep the vibes good when you guys are fighting to be in the play-in.
Parm guy, by the way. Parm guy, Luka Garza.
Fully guaranteed deal. I have no idea about his stats. It's his 2-year, 5.5. How many years has he been in the league? Because I think this is
4.
a minimum. I think, yeah, okay. So I think this is just a minimum.
He was what, 2022 draft?
Yeah.
2021 draft. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Garza's one of those per 36 demons where you look at the stats per 36 and you go, what the fuck? And then you realize, oh, he only plays garbage time. Here's his per 36 stats for his career. You ready, Sam? Okay, he's muted. Okay. 22 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists on 49, 31, 70 splits, but he averages 5.6 fouls per 36 too.
He's fucking terrible, dude.
Yeah.
He's so bad.
He's a garbage time guy.
Yeah.
But
Who
high
will be-
pedigree.
who
He
will
was a
be
great
starting
college
for the
player.
Celtics.
Yeah.
Really good
Great
college
locker room
player.
guy. Probably averages the most high fives in the league.
What is he, 26 now? Probably he was a 4-year college guy, right?
Yeah.
Hold on.
It's true. He does. Have a great
Nate is
jawline
saying
going.
we're clowns for disrespecting Luka Garza.
I mean, your team just disrespected Luka Garza. They wouldn't bring him back on the fucking minimum. He is 26 going on 27 this upcoming season.
Who, my team?
Yeah.
Nate's
And
team.
Nate's.
Nate's also a Wolves fan.
Oh, Nate. Okay. I thought you meant Nick for a second.
Oh, he's
Sorry.
an Iowa fan too. I forgot. That's why. I
Oh,
was wondering why he was so invested in
jeez.
this.
Pick a struggle, brother. Oh, my God.
God. I mean, that's fine. We needed a minimum guy. Who cares? Sure. I'm going to be annoyed. I'm going to be annoyed when he plays over Amari Williams because he's our two-way guy. So
Yeah, you are a Vikings fan, Peter. You can't really talk.
Who cares, bro? We're not writing back, dude. We got fucking White Vic coming soon.
White Vic. God.
JJ McCarthy, who was like a mid-college quarterback that all Vikings fans have convinced
Hey,
themselves
he's
is
a
the next
champion,
Tom
bro.
Brady.
Championship pedigree. Shut up. Broke all of Tom Brady's records, by the way.
Awesome. Great. You guys are going to love him. JJ McFart P.
Something.
Whatever.
We
Man.
need the LeBron trades slop drop.
More
Well,
importantly,
Eric's going. Never mind.
who signs Yabu?
Spurs.
Probably the Sixers. No,
Yeah,
the
I was
Spurs just
gonna say,
signed Lou Cornett.
He's
Do
going to
they
go
not-
back to the Sixers.
4 years 60, or they gave him 4 years 40 million. They don't have anything to give to Yabu.
Oh shoot, yeah.
The Nuggets? Why are the Nuggets? Are they?
Yo,
Who's
why
saying
did
that
Well, they still
40
have
million for?
they could give him money? They could give Yabu real money, but I mean that means that they've given up on Daron Holmes because they are
Well,
literally the same kind of idea.
I don't know if it
Or-
means they gave up on him. He's got
yeah, it's-
his
He
injury.
hasn't
was pretty
played
serious.
yet. Yeah. If you're bringing him back, I don't think that's the worst idea in the world. So
Timberwolves clips on Twitter is posting all of Luca's like highlights for us, and like
There you
every
go.
time
You
he
wanna go
got
see
into the
that,
game,
Sam?
it was like a make a wish moment.
Yeah,
Like,
that
everyone
was,
just lost
he was
their
the
mind.
ultimate garbage. He was the victory cigar player.
Yeah,
all right. Nickeil Alexander-Walker has agreed to a 4-year, $62 million deal with the Hawks.
Pretty good.
Was that real?
Yep. It's Shams. So
Hawks are
Better be.
kind of killing it.
yeah.
They've
John
still
just said the Celtics have long been fans of Garza. They made inquiries with Wolves before.
To
That's
trade
so
for
funny.
him?
to trade for him.
I mean, what could his trade costs have been? A second round pick?
Back, they were like, "We'll do it for a top 55 protected second." The Celtics were like, "No."
Yeah.
It's very
Brad-
funny that my whole thing has been everyone making fun of everyone who falls for the Hawks for years, and now I'm
for them.
now I'm kind of like, Nikhil.
They're going to be like the third best team in the East next year.
Dude, they go with Porzingis, Nickeil Alexander-Walker to go with.
They're going to be the
Dre,
second best team in the
Reece
East.
Shea, Dyson Daniels, Jalen Johnson, who was hurt last year. What, Kevin? How did you do that?
I went like this.
Mo Gay.
That was weird. Did you
Mo
see the
Gay is a
balloons
player
come
on
out
the
of
Hawks.
Kevin?
I went like this, and balloons came up. I don't know
Nobody
how that
mentioned the balloons that came out of Kevin. Like I have no
I don't-
idea.
There were
know.
balloons.
Yeah.
When you go back and if you ever, why would you rewatch the stream? But if you come to this point in the stream when you post it,
It's your
there's
birthday.
balloons.
It's
Happy birthday!
It's not my birthday, but I'll take it.
Amazing.
Yeah.
My birthday
Who
was
is it?
2 months ago exactly.
Who is that YouTuber who does the? It's like, God, what is it? But he's got that GIF where he's like that, and the emojis pop up. No, not Nick Fuentes. Don't say that.
Oh,
What's
Sam,
up?
look
What's up?
we
What
need
happened?
your reaction here for Sam to the
So
Nate
Illuminati.
Duncan tweet that was sent into the chat about Luka Garza.
What is he? What did he say?
I like the Garza pickup as a flyer for the Celtics, given their constraints. He shot 1 billion threes a minute with the Wolves when he's played and can rebound.
He cannot.
Honestly,
rebound, by
that
the way.
is kind of exactly what we need. Like
He's not a good rebounder. I just read off
He's
his
a terrible
36
rebounder.
36 stats. They were bad.
9 per 36.
Well,
is not
Demon
very
Nate,
good.
Not for a
Demon
center,
Nate
that's
against
bad.
Yeah, I was gonna say 9 per 36 is not good rebounding stats.
Me and my best friend Nate Duncan, who I've agreed with on everything.
I was going to say his
disagree
offensive
with you
rebounding
guys.
percentage is good, but overall his rebounding is not great.
Well, defensive rebounding is a little bit Mickey, to be
It
fair.
is, but he's a drop big. He should be in position to rebound.
Well, is he boxing guys out though? That's what I want to know.
Sure. Yeah, I mean it could be the Brook Lopez factor where you're a really good team rebounder as opposed to an individual rebounder because you do grunt work and you're opening up rebounds for other players.
That's the Brook Lopez and Robin Lopez.
Samaj J has made his opinion known about the Luka Garza contract.
He's a fucking. Isn't it a veterans minimum deal? It's barely above a veterans minimum deal.
It's just.
Don't worry about it.
I'm watching the clip. Hold on.
It's a very.
It's such a funny.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I have to say, I keep thinking I'm getting more Shams tweets because I have it set to like ping to my watch when they happen, and I'm just getting like 1 billion tweets from Kylie about how mad she is at Centel for ruining her draft deadline experience because she keeps getting Centel.
Then just block.
Why
them.
doesn't she?
That's-
Yeah, why doesn't she just block?
I
Sunset?
don't know
I
how
know.
people still get fooled by these accounts. I've blocked all of them.
Scam Charania was a new one this week.
Okay,
that put up
you'll
the
always
numbers.
have new ones pop up that you have to block, but the one account people were posting this week, I was like, that guy has an AI photo. How are you
Oh, yeah.
falling for this? That's not a real person.
Do you guys see in the chat that the Bucks hard cap themselves to bring back Kevin Porter Jr.?
That's amazing, dude. That's
Oh
so
my
cool.
God.
I mean, they're not going to spend above.
Look at what Kohi Jupe said that Garza is the Celtics' highest paid center right now.
Jesus Christ.
No, Trill, they're hard capped
Incredible.
at the first apron, not the second apron. They're hard capped.
Kevin, that's an excuse to not spend money.
I know, but it's just
That's what teams do. They go, oh, we're hard capped at the first apron. Guess we can't go over it. Also, that they shouldn't go over the first apron this year. They're going to be mid or bad.
And their pick is going to the Atlanta Hawks.
Oh,
Great
Chris
trade,
Hayes
by the
on
Falcons.
Chris Hayes on the Nikhil. Hawks star Trae Young was very vocal and active in recruiting Nikhil Alexander-Walker to Atlanta. Sources tell me. His source is Trae Young. He was
So are
heavily
they-
involved in the process to learn one of the top wing free agents on the market.
So their starters are going to be Trey, Nikhil Alexander-Walker, Jalen Johnson, Reece Shea, Porzingis, and then their bench is going to be Dyson Daniels.
Dyson wouldn't start.
I mean, I think Dyson's overrated, but maybe he starts.
I think he starts over Nikhil.
Nikhil's a
Nikhil
better-
never start. Nikhil never started for us.
Nikhil's a
though.
better two-way player than Dyson Daniels,
He was
though.
way better on offense, and
Yeah.
Well,
The
when
Ringer told me Nikhil is like a top 50 player in the NBA.
When Drew
Who is
Peterson
Nickeil
or whatever
Alexander
his
Walker?
name is.
Yeah, no. Dyson Daniels. I mean,
Dyson Daniels is bad on offense.
yeah.
I just don't think you can start. I don't think you can start Dyson Daniels and Jalen Johnson. Now, Porzingis makes it a little bit easier because he's a stretch 5, but how many games is he going to play? And Okongwu was a fake stretch big.
Can we get some resolution on the Jonathan Kuminga thing too? Because I also would just like to know that my Bulls are not the dumb team that's getting.
Am
Jonathan
I smoking
Kuminga.
crack? Dyson Daniels is one spot behind Chet in the Ringer 100.
That makes
What?
sense. That makes sense because
Why does that
Chet is
make
also
sense?
bad. Chet is also bad.
Chet is
So-
not
Oh my
bad.
God.
Chet was injured and played like shit.
Mhm.
Now, if he's just always injured, then yeah, you're right. But Chet didn't play well in the NBA Finals. Dyson Daniels has never made the playoffs. Not that it's
Okay,
his
he
fault.
also
I'm not
never
saying it's
had
his fault.
Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, the MVP. He never played
Oh
with
my
the
God.
MVP.
Plays with Trae Young. Trae Young is an
Trae Young is
amazing-
not the MVP of the league. What are you talking
Sure,
about?
but he's a great playmaker. He should be a functioning offensive player if he's playing with Trae Young.
Man.
This
This is
Kobe
is
wasn't
Look,
good
I'm
enough.
just telling you, look at Ricochet's stats when Trae Young's on the court. Look at Ricochet's stats when Trae Young is on the. He's horrible when Trae sets it. He's decent when he plays.
Jarvis, pull up the Japanese soldier World War II.
Oh my
Oh, actually, you know what it should be?
so
For
you-
Trill, it should be the American
I don't even
soldier.
like
'cause
Trae
he
Young, but
won
you
the
should-
war,
but-
and he's still fucking fighting the battle.
What
Yeah.
war?
Oh my God.
Your
The
Thunder
anti-Trae
won.
Young?
Your beautiful Thunder that you love. You love to smooch them and kiss them.
This isn't about the Thunder. This
Yeah.
is
This is pre-Coke
literally-
from Sam for the 2-7 Atlanta sweep of his Celtics next year.
That would be awesome.
Sam would love that because he's
he's
been on the Hawks for 4 years. It's
He's
finally
been
gonna pay
Atlanta
off.
pilled forever.
Yeah.
By the way, they hit the over that we locked. So everyone telling me the Hawks, I was told Hawks ass. Sorry.
I don't understand really the Celtics roster right now. Like, why keep Derek White or Jaylen Brown if you're gonna have no good centers?
Well, you need to have a team for Jason Tatum to come back to.
But they
Sure.
have no centers. Like
They're
they're
probably
still
going to
gonna.
find one in the next year, I'd imagine. They'll
Yeah,
just
I
audition
mean,
them.
it doesn't matter for next year. Who cares?
Also being with if there's a healthy Celtics team, being the Celtics center is like the easiest job in America.
That's
I think they can find someone.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Fucking
Tatum
50-year-old
is like a center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
50-year-old Al Horford basically didn't lose a playoff game starting at center.
I mean, Al is good. I will say that, but I think
No
like
one-
Luke
no one
Kornet's
thinks
the
Al-
better example.
And Porzingis
No one thinks-
was good when he was healthy, but
Yeah, before you got redacted.
I do
illness.
think you probably need a better defensive player because I do think the Celtics defense is going to be a lot more compromised than people are used to in previous iterations of the team. So
What's the
This is
Jake Fisher
amazing.
slop, Mitch?
I'm reading Dan's comment about Sam making that into an OKC argument. I can't even believe you pulled that off. That was great.
let's go.
That was a good. That's
You
a great
can't
move.
stop me. You can't stop me. Just because they won the title doesn't mean the war is over. Second round loss next year. Let's go.
Let's go.
That's
Shout
true.
out to
And yeah, we
Impulse.
Let's go, Impulse. Caw-caw!
episode on. Get Samo's headphones.
Sonos
Sonos.
Ace.
Peter, get the sponsors right. Come on.
Yeah.
They didn't. By the way, they didn't even pay me to do this. They literally were like, "You don't even have to say anything," and I was like, "I will because it's the right thing to do."
Because you gave me free shit.
You give me a pair of headphones that's almost $500.
You see how easy this is, Little Caesars? You see how easy this is?
exactly.
You know how cheap a fucking pizza is
We're
compared to
so
headphones?
cheap, dude.
Oh my God.
Like it's just the easiest thing in the world. Polar Seltzer, I drink your shit on the stream all the time. It's free.
Exactly.
Damn.
We're an ethical shill bro, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next year during streams, it's just like, man, Jaylen Brown is ice cold. You know what else is ice cold? Polar ice seltzer.
Let's next year.
I'll do that
Please.
anyway.
If you work with a company that wants to give us free shit, please do it.
Yeah.
Sam is already advertising for Little Caesars because he's wearing their outfit right now.
Yeah, exactly.
He's wearing their colors.
I got ready. I thought the call was going to come in while we were on the stream, so I changed into my uniform.
I changed it to my Napoleon Dynamite style.
Yeah.
Little.
I
Caesars
genuinely
outfit.
should get in touch with Men's Warehouse to sponsor next year's Thunder Hate.
Oh my god, that's actually brilliant.
Damn, Paul George has really regressed as he's gotten older. but you can avoid regressing when you get older with our partners at Blue Chew.
I tried to get a Blue Chew sponsorship back when we had the Keith Pompey joke, because it was like slightly after Keith Pompey read the ad, and they never got back to me, unfortunately. I tried to say we could call our followers the Blue Crew, because that's what Keith called it. He was like, you just take some Blue Crew if you have those problems going on. If you haven't seen the Keith Pompey ad read, I'm going to post it in chat right now.
Also, you would be able to drop the sponsorship in every time we talk about being unks in unk chat and being old.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we're unks now, so we need Blue Chew.
I could also just start drinking again and give myself erectile dysfunction.
There you go.
Like, really needed that. Like, I'm just saying, like, we could go back to that. Like, anything for the sponsorship.
Sam's relapsing so that we can get a Smirnoff Ice sponsorship. Yeah. We're gonna ice each other.
Jones slop. What is this gonna be?
Magic? Yep, there you go. We heard it.
Yeah,
we heard that 2 days ago.
Yeah, Vagberg was all over that one.
Yeah. All right, I'm sending in the Keith Pompey ad read for anyone who hasn't seen it, and I'm pinning it to chat. Because that one gets overlooked because the 9/11 one was so much funnier. By the way, have you seen the TikToks from creators that are like, I'm going on a flight. Let's see how many ads and let's see how many brands can comment on this by the time I land on my flight in LA. Have you never seen that before?
I hate this country.
Have you seen that?
No,
that's like a common thing people do on TikTok. They're like, and then like you check the comments, it's like Taco Bell, Little Caesars, whatever. Could you imagine if someone did that if TikTok was around during 9/11 and someone did that? Let's see how many people will comment, and then 9/11 happens.
Halliburton, oil, spot of oil,
IDF,
yeah, Purdue Pharma, yeah. So many different things.
So Tyus got double the minimum. That's fine.
Space Cowboy, my drink of choice when I was drinking whiskey, Evan Williams, because it was cheap, and 40s of Bud Heavy. So
90,
I was really about that paper.
Did you drink 99 when you were in college? 99 bananas, 99 apples.
Oh, yeah, that was like too sweet though. Like,
yeah,
I drank that like my freshman year, but like,
that was better than Pinnacle. Pinnacle was like,
oh my god,
whipped Pinnacle. Do you remember whipped Pinnacle?
Yeah. Oh yeah. The whipped cream one was vile.
Gross.
The orange one.
I think about how many times I threw up just from drinking those things, and I don't even throw up from alcohol. It was just it tasted so bad. I liked 99 personally, but I liked the 99 apples. I would mix it with Snapple apple, and I would get super drunk. It was great.
I sniffed Everclear once, and I almost passed out.
Oh, I did a shot of Everclear. So
wait, why is Will saying that Sean Marks is a moron? What happened?
No.
Oh my God.
What
MPJ's fully guaranteed through 2027 because they won the title.
Oh, that's really funny.
So there's 3 years left on the deal?
Fun. No, only two.
Okay.
What kind of?
It's not that bad. It's still not.
That's a hilarious. That is.
It does eat into their cap space next year when there's actually like free agents, though.
An extra $30 million, and they only got one. I mean, look, that pick could be super valuable, but it's so far away.
It's also not going to be available for Marks to make the pick.
Yeah.
Unless he's planning on like flipping it because it's juicy and he wants to like use it now.
Oh God, the Nuggets, man. Good. Their new front office knows. I don't even know who's running it. The Nepo baby son?
Ben Tenzer.
I mean, it's just a guy who's worked there forever.
Okay. Well, good.
That's
for
what
him.
they promote from within, and they pay guys nothing.
Yeah, there was a story about him, and it was like his first job was like basically like coffee. Like he was like an unpaid intern like 20 years ago. And he's like
Demon. They stole Demon Peter Dinwiddie from us. That's why. My goat. Dinwiddie, dude.
We gotta get a job for years. They should give us one of these fucking
jobs, I should.
Man.
Well,
we should get a consulting job with one.
I need to act Alex Rodriguez and try to get a job with the Wolves.
Yeah, absolutely. Would I welcome back Ben Simmons? Absolutely, dude. The Sixers are done. It would be very funny. Okay, all right, so the thing that I heard was that he was spotted in Philadelphia the other night at what's it called? The Butcher and the Singer is the name of the restaurant. I've never been there before. Butcher and Singer. There you go. I'm assuming that's a Center City restaurant. he was seen in. There's no way Daryl Morey knows. Shout out to Deem Soturn. There's no way that he knows.
Daryl Snorri, he's asleep right now.
He's asleep, currently sleeping. But apparently he was seen out at dinner the other night, and someone dug a little bit deeper into this. This is so funny. So Ben gets spotted in Philly the other night, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, this is nuts! Like, is Ben really going to come back?" His brother, who still lives in Philly, I knew his brother still lived in Philly because I can't remember who it was, but I was hanging out with someone and they were saying that they've hung out with his brother before. And he said that his brother was someone else told me his brother was posting all of his belongings on Facebook Marketplace, like his bed, all this stuff, and said that he was moving overseas. Like Sean, his brother, not Ben Simmons. So it's possible that Ben is done with the NBA because, I mean, unless his brother is just moving back to Australia for fun, it's definitely possible that Ben's done.
Wow.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Did what he wanted. I mean, it makes sense. He made his money, man. Like what? Like
he doesn't like
He can go be 6'8" and handsome, like and like multimillionaire, like
in Europe.
But like, why wouldn't he just
I don't
do
think
that
he's going to
in
play.
LA?
I think he's just going to move there.
Yeah,
Maybe he just wants to live in a different part of the world. I mean, he's from Australia. Like, it's not like he's American.
Yeah,
isn't
his girlfriend American?
I don't know who his current girlfriend is. His ex was from the UK, but they broke up. Maya Jama.
I thought he was
She's the host of Love Island UK.
3 minutes ago, Sean Grandy tweeted, "If you're as a Celtics fan, you've been saying to yourself, I should take some time off social media. This would be like a really good night to do that." So that means Horford. The Horford news is coming. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So Horford for the gotcha.
Yeah.
Just first off, how dare you tell me to get off social media?
Yeah, Sean, I'm not doing that, Grandy.
I will never log off.
Sam's gonna be on his run looking at his phone. No,
that's why he's got the Apple Watch set up, so he doesn't even have to pull his phone out.
I just look at it. Yeah, it fucking. I've got the shocker set up, so every time a fucking bad thing falls down, I fall down and get hurt.
All right, so this person said, "Trill, is it possible to get PJ Washington in an Oubre Drummond trade? If we attach pick, sure. I mean, that's a target to keep an eye on for the Sixers at the deadline, I think, because if the Mavs are stacked in the front court and they really don't have a ton of minutes and money to go around, and PJ Washington's contract is expiring. So if the Sixers want to target PJ Washington or someone at the deadline, but they're not going to trade the picks until they know what the team looks like. It doesn't make sense to make trades right now with the Clippers picks or their own picks. If Joel Embiid is washed or Paul George is washed, you have to see what the team looks like first. You can't. I actually think someone said, "What's my ideal offseason?" My ideal offseason was trading Grimes for Santi Aldama. That's not happening. So I don't care anymore. I literally think you should just sign guys and then bring Grimes back and then figure it out later. Like, I think it would be a mistake to make win now moves if you're the Sixers, because it could be pointless. I don't think ownership is going to allow them to do that too, because they're going to be like, if Joel's cooked, we're not fucking trading all of our future shit.
Yeah, why would they?
It doesn't
Was
make
Raphael Stone doing all the work in Houston? Is that what we're learning?
I mean, he's
been
cooking.
a Raphael Stone merchant?
Here's my thing with Raphael Stone. He's been awesome this offseason. I actually think the way that he's built this team has been really interesting, but also he got bailed out of the Jalen Green contract. The Suns are fucking stupid. Like, it's very similar to like the Leon Rose thing, where I think Leon Rose is a great GM and he's done a lot of things right, but also like the best GMs just take advantage of the dumb other teams, and Morey used to be that guy.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Is like, that is what good GMing is, though. It's finding the mark and being like, that's why, like, I heard that, like, the night of the draft, Brad Stevens called Joe Dumars 4 times trying to get Herb and trade.
Sure, you should call those guys every single day,
because he was like, "Oh, he's dumb. Like he's a bozo."
Oh wow, is this post from 2020?
Wow, that is some elite code.
The Miami Heat are among teams quietly positioning themselves for a run at Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Is the positioning they're doing, going in the bathroom, shutting the door, and putting their hand down the front of their pants, and imagining the fucking scenario where they like Tyler Hero or Bam? There's no positioning to be done there. I'm sorry, fucking ridiculous. Like get a job.
What have they done? What have they done to do this? Like they fumbled the Jimmy Butler trade. They have not done anything in free agency. They got Yakuchonis. That was a good pick. I like that for them. But also, like, is that positioning yourself for Giannis?
Even Barry Jackson saying not sure how they would get him.
Yeah,
yeah, they wouldn't.
Yeah. Says there's nothing Giannis needs to be to see in weeks ahead that he doesn't know.
Windy,
he knows that it's not. Yeah,
this is click farming from.
This is straight from Pat Riley, dude.
Windy, very sad to see our beautiful Windy doing this.
He's in contract negotiations right now with NBC.
Giannis isn't gone. If Giannis wants to be gone, he should have asked that a month ago before everyone made their moves.
Before the draft.
He should have asked out the second, like, the Adrian Griffin saga happened.
Yeah.
Like Will's tweet.
Will's thing very funny.
All right, I gotta drop because I gotta go walk my little demon dog.
Peace, Kev.
Later, Kev.
Prepping for the draft, like those teams get built like a year in advance. They start trying to make their moves and figure out what they're going to do to build out the team.
Nick said, as the Sonics fan in chat, I have news.
Okay.
All right. Cook on the news.
Yeah.
Let us hear.
I mean, I heard they're gonna.
Ooh! Nuggets got a $17 million TPE.
Don't react like that, dude.
Jesus Christ. Damn, bro.
Go, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
Perverted.
I thought Braun was a Sixer for a second, dude.
I was gonna say the way that you just reacted was like a superstar has been traded.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize the reaction police were here. That was awesome. So you guys don't appreciate TPEs. By the way, Atlanta had the biggest TPE this offseason. Who have been the winners of the offseason unequivocally so far? I'll just let you guys catch up. I'll let you guys catch up.
Rockets.
Oh, that's right. No, it's not the Houston Rockets because Kevin Durant's going to destroy their team
Atlanta
from
Hawks?
within. Yes, the Atlanta Hawks, who are the Houston Rockets have to play the Thunder. They have to play the Nuggets. What do the Hawks have to play? I
think the Hawks improved their stock more of any team because the Rockets were already good.
Yeah.
And the most teams were already decent heading into this offseason. It's either the Magic or the Hawks have improved their stock the most, I think.
Yeah. Sam, you reacted like Danielle Haim just like emailed you.
I would not react that strongly, Danielle Haim. It's happened
You would have done you do a backflip if that happened.
No. It's happened before. It'll happen again. It's not. Doesn't do that. Yeah, Daniel Haim and I don't email either. We send each other TikTok videos of baby seals and yeah. So Hawks outshine their win total to win 41 games instead of 39. That's the over. It's technically the over.
Oh my God, Kevon Looney and Jordan Poole are reunited in New Orleans.
It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be a
movie.
They have championship DNA.
Championship pedigree. Yeah.
By the way, did you see the Derek Queen quote where they asked him about the pick? Which, by the way, it was stupid to ask Derek Queen about the pick he was traded for.
Yeah, that's mean.
He has anything to do with it. But Derek
19,
Queen,
or 20,
Derek Queen 20. Yeah. Well, Derek Queen's response was, "I kicked all those guys' ass in high school, basically," which is a bar, but also like you're 20 and they're all like 16.
Yeah. Also,
you're like 3 years older than these guys.
Beast mode.
Yeah.
Oh God. Fenerbahce's Nigel Hayes-Davis, the 2025 EuroLeague champion and finals MVP, as well as the Turkish champion.
Speed it up.
1 year contract with the Phoenix Suns, so almost certainly a minimum.
Let's go! Nigel Hayes in the NBA. The New York Knicks, the Nova Knicks are shaking in their boots right now. If I remember correctly, they were the only the Wisconsin Badgers were the only team to beat Villanova during that run.
Oh my God,
3-year stretch.
I lost like $50 in high school because I bet on Villanova that year.
And that was the 1 year they didn't win because Nigel Hayes went off in that game.
How did you have $50 in high school?
I didn't.
work?
I didn't.
Oh.
He went Malik Beasley mode.
Damn, bro. All those
Allegedly.
lawns I mowed, bro, just down the drain.
Well, that's what I was gonna ask. I was gonna ask if you worked during high school. Like
Suns Knicks finals. Nigel Hayes is gonna have them having PTSD on the sideline. I'm just saying. He's gonna be staring down, and they're gonna be. This is a tactical mind warfare that the Phoenix Suns are doing on the New York Knicks right now. They said we've brought the one person that you cannot beat. You thought it was Tyrese Halliburton? No. It's actually Nigel Hayes.
Shams tweeting that sucks so much. I'm not gonna lie. Woj would never even consider.
wait, hold on.
Woj did some agent favors.
How did you have $1,000 in high school? Were you a drug dealer?
Damn,
what?
Will's
Will's
dad's name is blue on Wikipedia, bro.
That's what I'm saying. If you didn't have a job, $50 is a lot. I didn't have a job. I did extra.
I had a job in high school. Does anyone want to guess where I worked in high school?
GameStop.
That's good. That's a good guess.
Barnes and Noble.
Not Wawa. Also a good guess.
Okay.
You guys are getting closer. A food place, but it's a luxury food place.
Chili's.
Panera.
Apple Valley.
No guess. No. Is anyone getting closer?
Cheesecake
no.
Factory.
No. Cheesecake's a good guess. He's really Sonos. George Sonos.
George Sonos.
No, I worked at Cold Stone Creamery.
No, I did know that. You told me that before.
I said GameStop, and you were like, "You're close."
Well, it was like literally right down the street. Physically close.
I worked at McDonald's the summer after high school and in between college, my first year after college.
We will go. What makes it?
I worked at a Starbucks.
The Dario. We thank you for your dough. We had to literally. I knew I still know 3 or 4 of the songs.
Let's go.
Was it
Fusion Tim Hortons?
No, I worked
just a Cold Stone.
No, it was just we don't have Tim Hortons in Philly. But I worked at Cold Stone, and we had I worked there for 4 years. I worked there for all of high school. And it was actually kind of a low-key decent job because you only made minimum wage, but the tips were great. So I was making in 2007 on a good night at Cold Stone, I would make $15 to $20 an hour. In 2007, that was life changing.
That's real money. Yeah. I was gonna say, I got
on
paid
a Saturday or a Sunday, I would crush.
I got paid $12 an hour at McDonald's to get fucking sweet and sour packets thrown back at me when I gave them the correct amount of nuggets.
Occasionally, you would get someone when they come into chat and they drop a 50, and they would be some people would be "Don't sing," and here's $50, and then some people would drop 50 and be "You all have to sing 5 songs." So we'd have to just go after.
Wow. Mikhail Bridges played 29 minutes. It was Wisconsin in that game.
Guess how many points he had? 4. I guess he had 4 points in that Wisconsin game.
It was a preview of his future playoff performances.
0?
Wait, was it 0?
No, Will hasn't said anything. It's
0. 0. Let's go!
Wow, I'm telling you. Nigel Hayes is going to be in Mikhail Bridges. The Suns are trying to do warfare with their former player. I'm telling you,
Josh Hart with the Bored Ape banner in 2025.
He's the most Reddit man of all time.
Dude, he's so Reddit. There's never been a more Reddit man alive.
That was probably my greatest call of all time, calling Josh Hart the most Reddit man a year and a half ago.
Josh Reddit man. I just want to push back on Sean saying that Tim Hortons is only in Maine. No, it's in New York. They literally have one that, obviously, it's in Canada. I think he's saying for America. I think it's in Ohio. It's in New Hampshire. Okay.
He's taking his time. There's 3 to 4 teams. I know there's been a lot of speculation about Golden State, but we'll see if that 3-point shot gets to Chase. He's playing with if he's leaving Boston, it's got to be for a really good team. And I feel like the Warriors and the Nuggets would be the only teams that make any sense. Really Noah, how dare you call Wawa washed? He's kind of right, though. It is kind of
whoa.
I enjoy it. I make a point of getting Wawa at least once every time.
It used to be better. It used to be the quality of food has gone down.
Yeah. When I'm in Philly next month, what should I get at the Wawa?
Oh, Devin Booker extension. It's happening. New Bradley Beal contract just dropped.
Unbelievable, dude.
I love Devin Booker. I really don't mean to slander him like that, but that is insane. $75 million a year for a player that, although they did do well this offseason at least.
I don't know. Pat Connaughton locked his ass up in the finals. I can't.
Yeah, I would have absolutely asked out. Peter, when you're here in Philly, we'll figure out your Wawa order.
All right, let's go.
I don't really go to Wawa all that much anymore. If it's not, the Gobbler isn't around because it's not. That's usually
gas station mac and cheese kind of crazy.
Well, not all Wawas.
That's dippy. Never mind.
The Wawa in my neighborhood growing up was not a gas station, but 90% of them are gas stations. The ones in the city are not gas stations. They're just like convenience stores, but the ones in the suburbs are gas stations.
I always stay at the exact same hotel every time I go to Philly, and there's like one like right around the corner that's like my guy, the one that's like 2 blocks from City Hall.
Yeah, the one on Broad Street.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
No, I know that one because it's always wild in there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shit going on.
Yeah.
The Hackensack. I've been to the Hackensack Wawa when I used to live up in North Jersey. I went there. I was like, wow, we have one. I have to go. And then I was like, well, it's just like home. It's literally the same thing. It's a fucking convenience store. Oh, that Wawa's gone?
Yeah. Did you go to the?
It closed because it closed because of crime. The one in
so the one that's not the one I'm talking about. Then I thought the one I'm talking about is like literally like a block and a half from City Hall, though. I'll get the cross streets.
I was thinking of the one on Broad Street. That's
Trill,
when you lived really close.
When you lived in North Jersey, did you ever go to the Bada Bang?
No, I don't know what that is. Is that an Italian place?
Sopranos reference.
Oh, gotcha. Hey, Bada Bing.
The Bada Bing. That was the.
I didn't live close to where North Jersey's massive. I live near New York. Like I live right next to the city. So I don't know where Seton Hall is. Where is Seton Hall located? What town? Oh, South Orange. I used to live when I first moved up to there. I lived right near South Orange. Actually, I lived in a suburb of Newark called Belleville, which, if I remember correctly, I think one of the members of My Chemical Romance is from there. The lead singer, I think, is from there. Yeah, right near Montclair. Yeah, Belleville. I used to live. Let's go. I used to shop at the Trader Joe's in Nutley, or maybe that was Clifton. I can't remember.
Oh my God, it did close. Yeah. Like in like the year since I've been there.
I was gonna say, I was like, that Wawa is the one on Broad Street. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's like South 16th all the time. It's South 16th and
it's right around the corner.
Yeah, South 16th and it's not quite on Broad Street.
That wouldn't be Broad then if it's South 16th because Broad and 16th run parallel to each other. Market. There you go.
Yeah. It's like kind of like a thing, but that's like right. I always stay at that like there's always like crazy deals on that one hotel on Chestnut. If you do Expedia, tip if you go to Philadelphia, you can.
Okay, so apparently Junior Soprano lived in Belleville in the show. So at one point I did live near close to where the Sopranos were. Yeah. But I lived in Weehawken for the majority of the time there. Montclair is okay. There you go. So Montclair's Sopranos.
Is this the actual Noah Colwyn?
Let's go. Yeah, Noah's in chat.
Yeah, Noah.
Hello, Noah.
Did I just let up the real Noah Colwyn, or did someone just go in chat and? I hope it's the real Noah Colwyn.
There's no way.
Letting up a stranger.
Please, Noah.
Yeah.
Please, because someone has done that before. Noah's gonna be like, I didn't request the stage, and then we get fucked over.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're telling everyone.
No, it's me.
Okay,
there we go.
Thank God. Noah, I was so nervous for a second because have you been in chat before when we've had people request the stage and be like, why can't I get on stage? And then so what they do is they go into playback rooms and then they try to get on stage and they try to hijack it and shut all your shit down and like take your money.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
that's kind of, that's an impressive grift.
It means that playback has made it really.
Yeah. One sec. I got to adjust my camera.
That was the first time when I let Prince Abdul Sair from Nigeria up on the stage because he just needed 10 minutes.
Now
on playback.
You're flexing because Noah's up on stage now.
Well, no, I let him up because he just needed 10 minutes on playback, and then he would have enough money to unfreeze his accounts and give us $10 million at that point. So I can't believe we got scammed like that. With some of that stuff. But
Noah, how pumped are you for Luke Kennard on the veterans minimum to the.
Wait,
Knicks.
we got him?
No, I'm just saying that. I saw you.
He's excited. He's locked in for new.
I mean, because it's like at this point, it's like what am I going to get excited for? Like, oh, we're just like demolishing the team to get a 40-year-old. Like that's great.
Yeah,
I love that slop. That
what
makes
was that?
me
The
so
Horford
excited.
The Horford connection is what you're talking about.
No. The all this like fucking like I don't know if you see. I mean, because
the LeBron stuff.
Yeah, because my For You feed is just like the dumbest. Like which obviously it switches to.
Sure.
It's just like it's like flotsam, like
Right.
horrible.
Sure.
It's like the dregs of it, and it's just like people doing like AI LeBron jerseys. And I'm like, I want to kill myself. I can't block him fast enough.
Definitely.
Like,
it does. Once again, we just talked about it before you got on here, but it's a classic like 2000 whatever Knicks move where like you've built this team so well over the last 5 years or whatever. You make it to the conference finals for the first time in forever. And then the second that a big, huge name all-time player becomes available, you're like, let's just go for it. Not that LeBron isn't good anymore.
Yeah, I don't think that they'll do it. Like, I think that the coaching stuff is like more like it's cringe, but I don't think that like firing Tibbs to get Mike Brown is like it's not such a crazy thing in the context of the last season and whatever. But the like obviously it's just been handled in like the most humiliated like Herma cuck chair way possible.
Hey man,
Like,
LeBron and Mike Brown have unfinished business, so you never know.
You could have a reunion, third time's the charm, because I
am like mentally exploding your head, Peter. Like, I need them to keep LeBron's gold brickin' ass out of Madison Square Garden. Stay out of Malibu, LeBron. I want none of this. I want you to stay away from my beautiful boys.
So the thing, well, first off, we've been getting the connections with LeBron and the Knicks going back like a year at this point. Like, I remember there were rumors last offseason that LeBron could potentially force a trade. I don't know. Fans of the show will remember the deadline, not this previous deadline, but who was the Ping Lior was his name? That said that LeBron was going to ask out, and we all thought it was going to go to the Knicks. And there were all these rumors, and then nothing really ever happened with it. But the problem is that, like, the LeBron is not easy to match his contract. Like,
no, and he just signed that fucker. Like, what do you like? I don't understand. Like, when I saw that he signed that deal with the Lakers, I thought like, oh, so the Lakers have agreed to suck for another couple of years. Like, they don't have like assets, whatever. Fine. And now that we see this, I'm like, what is Rich Paul doing? Like, what sacrifices is he offering?
So here's the deal. LeBron had a 1-for-1 where he does this thing. He's been doing it for the last like 10 years where basically he only signs 2-year deals, the player option on the second year, so that he can have leverage over his team to be like, hey, make moves to try to make the team better now, because if you don't, I'm out. So basically, it's his only way to get what he wants. And now we've got to the end of the road here where he's old. They want to build around Luka, and he has no leverage because worst case scenario, LeBron just expires and they have a bunch of cap space next summer.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, they could get. I mean, like, I can't believe I'm saying this, but like, can they give him away? Like, is there like, who is there that's going to take it?
There's no team. Yeah, there's no team that's like a match
LeBron James, which is weird to say.
Is there like a part of like the NBA clause that like lets like the Heat like can like offer like a child of a player or something? Like, can like Malak, like what's the what the fuck is the plan here? So now
Pat Riley just sacrifices a child and then they acquire him. Yeah.
Wait. Sorry, that doesn't make sense to me. The Rockets keeping Cam Whitmore
in addition to their still a possibility. So
wow.
Okay, so they might. So from what I understand, Cam Whitmore's trying to force his way out because he's not going to get minutes. Because they got
that's what I assume. But they don't need. They don't have to get rid. Like getting rid of him doesn't do anything for their cap situation.
No, but but he's a year away from basically getting a contract extension, and he's barely played in the NBA. It's really very similar to the Jonathan Kuminga situation, where like he's on the fringes of their rotation, and he wants to play and prove himself before he gets the chance to get paid. I mean, he already fell in the draft, so he made much less money on his rookie contract than he probably should have. I still think he is like an NBA player and like could work somewhere, but it's just that he's kind of been being held hostage there. But real quick on the LeBron thing, I posted this on TikTok or YouTube or whatever yesterday, and I was basically like, I think that people are underestimating that if LeBron does force a trade, the no trade clause, we just saw this with Bradley Beal a few years ago. He can literally just be like, no, I'm not accepting that deal, and kind of dictate the terms of the trade. So whoever trades for him, in theory, doesn't have to give up that much. And if the Lakers basically are going to lose him anyway, they might just be like, if we can get like some decent expiring contracts so that we can kind of fake compete next year with Luka, we might do it.
I'm just kind of amazed that like it always like I mean I shouldn't have been surprised because like it sounds like because this is like roughly speaking like you've been saying for a minute that like the end of the road was coming for him, like this is not a new thing. What's just so goofy to me was that like I don't know, look, and like I said, I think I've said this earlier, like LeBron is like fundamentally a fucking boomer. Like you know that like the planet is boiling, like Donald Trump is gonna like destroy the economy.
Yeah.
But like you just keep fucking that chicken anyway. Like you just keep like you just go to the point of no return and go past it, and you know like no like consequences be damned. I mean, look, because the thing is like I imagine that like the Occam's razor resolution to this then is that like a team decides to forfeit its actual future for something that
because you get a year of the LeBron James retirement money.
Yeah, and
where you get the last 2 years of his career.
Or like what? Like Charlotte is able to be like, listen, you can have a house the size you're the house you can have here.
We will give you your own airport, LeBron. You can literally just have your own.
We will make Ryan Kalkbrenner, Con Knipple, all our white boys will drive you around in a chariot.
Do you have like Charlotte boys in YKB world?
Like a fan of Charlotte?
We have two.
Yeah, we have two that are on like the fringes of the YKB world. Matt Sponhour, who's a big TikTok guy who has a podcast called Stay Hot. And then we have Bert, who's our like kind of our insider a little bit. Like he's a fan of the team, but he told us 2 months ago that they were drafting Con.
Oh, wow.
So like he's like very tapped in. He's in our Discord, but they're the only Hornets fans that I know of in existence. Like, I literally don't know anyone else.
I can say without risk of blowback, as it were, to you guys, that like I've been to Charlotte and it's like the most ass place I've ever been. Like, like it's not like it's I have like a really like my old roommate, a really close friend has to he lives there part-time, like is a job thing keeping him there. And I have friends who now teach at Davidson. And so I've like visited and like spent some time around there. And like straight up, I don't like why they have a basketball team and Nashville doesn't, I don't understand.
There are so many cities that should have a basketball team before
like,
Charlotte.
It's like straight up, like I don't know like what the pitch they make to LeBron would be other than like we're bribing, like you get to own a town. Like what the Mr. Beast town, you get one of those. Like that's some serious. Like what else do you offer? Like LeBron, get ready to pretend to like NASCAR.
Yeah. I guess, and I think this is kind of what you're getting at now. I guess what feels different is like you always kind of thought LeBron would go out with more dignity, just because he's beaten Father Time so many times, and it's like. But that would be
wasting the last few years with the Lakers anyway.
But the Lakers, at least, even this zombie version of the Lakers, still has like a little bit of leftover prestige. Like there is a little bit of the you can still kind of see the skull face of the Lakers. If he were to go to Charlotte, that is like the ultimate indignity. That is like being thrown in.
Cleveland would be the only non-big city he could reasonably do it in.
Well, this is another point that I've been saying.
Why would Cleveland just make themselves into a bad team though? I don't get this.
Yeah,
like everybody,
crazy.
like
you
know,
know,
like,
so when they were on the rise, it was the idea.
So hear me out on the Cleveland thing, real quick.
Oh God,
I don't love it. I don't love it. I agree with you, but I've been saying for years, if they trade Darius Garland, they're losing any Darius Garland trade because he's a very good player that the rest of the league does not value, and if you're gonna lose it, at least you get LeBron back in a wide open Eastern Conference. And as great as Darius Garland has been in the regular season, he's been consistently a playoff dropper. LeBron, now look, I don't love that fit just because you got two bigs, LeBron, Donovan Mitchell. It's not great. Honestly, I'd probably just run it back if I were the Cavs. But if you're always going to lose a Garland trade anyway, just because the East is so wide open next year, it makes more sense for them. But if you're going to lose a Garland trade anyway, or an Allen trade or whoever it is, I do think that there might be a little bit of logic just to be like having one last run with LeBron and having a chance is somewhat interesting. LeBron is still really good when he wants to be. It's just that his body fails him sometimes.
Well, yeah, and like like the Cavs are like a team with a very specific problem, which is that like they like they sucked in the playoffs, and I don't know how adding an old ass fucking man. Like it's like the one thing. Like if this was like, it's like, oh, we need like like regular. If they had other issues, fine. Whatever.
Okay, this was fake. I want to point out. LeBron was not the sixth best player in the NBA this year. LeBron was not good for the first 25 games of this season. Like he very much was great down the stretch. After they got Luka, he felt like he was reinvigorated. I still think he's a top 15, 20 player in the NBA, but I just don't think that LeBron is like a no-brainer top guy anymore. And once again, he comes with a laundry list of things
and
at
an
this
insane
stage
price
of his career.
tag. Like if you're paying a premium, like that's what I don't understand is the money. Like it's like there's obviously he's LeBron fucking James. He could be 50 and he would probably still be able to contribute. Like what's nuts to me is the idea that like the amount of money that you have to be expected to commit to this guy. How do you
the bigger indignity is if you're LeBron's next team, then you have to draft Bryce, who really sucks.
He's horrible. I saw the clips, dude. I've seen the clips. Man. He looks like me out there, dude.
Yeah. Bryce should be playing football. Bryce has a football body.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And that is like the move, by the way. The move is not to like make a kid who then has to like compete with like your vision of success looming over them. The idea is like, no, dude. You're going to be the number one water polo player.
Sure,
the world is ever
like
seen.
Springsteen's daughter becoming like an Olympic
slop, big slop.
Oh, Luke
Kennard to the Hawks.
The Hawks.
Sorry, Noah. They apparently paid him a lot of money.
Oh, then I don't care.
Yeah,
that's fine.
No,
oh, great! It gets them to 42 wins.
Dog, listen to this.
Honestly, I think Landry Shamit's just as good as Luke Kennard.
Hawks star Trae Young reached out to Kennard and Nickeil Alexander-Walker to help recruit them to the franchise. This is incredible, dude.
Who is Trae Young's agent?
$11 million. Wow, that is a lot for Luke. That must be.
Trae made the boss call.
Well, the Hawks are going for it. No, but real quick, the two
going for what though? Sorry, I know that like the East is open. Everybody says the East is open, but that's going to become like people are going to like say that with like an ironic smirk in about like 2 months.
It will be a bit at some point on YKB, definitely. Yeah, sure. That's definitely true.
I mean, the Knicks are still there.
I mean, the Cavs are going to be the heavy.
Zach or Bill, one of them had a moment recently where like, you know what? I'm tired of hearing like the East, like people are shit talking the East too much, and I agree.
Half the good players are out next year. Like it is literally just like Tatum, Hallie. We don't know with Embiid. The second best player in the East next year is probably Donovan Mitchell. And like historically speaking, the level of best player in your conference combined with availability from the rest of the roster, like it's just it is a unique. All right, whoever it doesn't matter. There are a handful of guys that you can make the argument for, but outside of Giannis, who's on a dog shit team, there isn't a true win the conference level good player on majority of these teams. I think the Knicks have a good chance of winning next year. The Magic. I would put the Hawks further down still, even though considering all this, I would say like the Knicks, the Cavs, the Magic. Those are probably the three that I feel like right now.
Right.
We're still. Are we sure Jaylen Brown isn't the second best player in the East next year?
100%.
We'll say that at some point.
I'm going to say something. George Niang, sneaky good sharpshooter.
He's from Boston. That guy really gives a shit. He loves
Luka Garza, National Player of the Year. This guy's got
pedigree.
He gives a shit. Winner.
Good GMs love pedigree. I don't know if you've ever heard this one. But
I just don't want to live in a world where like Zach Lowe like talking about how much he loves the Hawks is actually vindicated.
Sam does this too, though. Sam has been doing it for 3 years, and every year I'm like, stop.
I have the dignity to be incorrect. I'm gonna stop it now that they're actually good.
Now it was good when it was contrarian.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, I have the dignity. No. Like what Zach Lowe's bit is gonna be pretending that he's gonna say the Heat in the same like breath as all those other teams,
Sure.
that's his pervert thing he's going to do. Oh, and Toronto. He's also going to bring up Toronto as a sneaky 6 seed.
I don't even know if you can.
Toronto is not going to make
sneaky
the
6 seed.
playoffs.
Okay, yeah.
No. They're not making the playoffs.
I'm saying that he will argue that is what I'm saying.
He's going to. Yeah.
But real quick, back to the LeBron thing real quick. I talked about this a few years ago when LeBron kept getting linked to the Sixers and it was always these like rumors. I was like, is LeBron too famous to live in any city except for LA, Cleveland, where he's from, and Miami or New York, obviously? I feel like he's legitimately got to the point where he's one of like the 10 most famous people alive. LeBron. I feel like you can't just live in Philadelphia. Like if you're that famous.
Bro, Drake lives in Toronto. Sorry. No offense to
yeah, I mean, but Toronto's at least like the biggest city.
It's like
in
the
Canada.
biggest city in a country.
It's much bigger than Philly. Or
all right,
most of the places
need I say the fucking Lisa Simpson line? Like, come on.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, here's what I will say though about Drake.
Line? I don't know
that like because like when somebody's like, oh, McGill's the Harvard of Canada. And
oh, sure.
Something like the something
of
some place isn't actually anything of anywhere.
Yeah. The other thing about it is that he has his own like personal Blackwater for like euthanizing people who call him a pedophile. So like that also changes like the dynamics of
Drake has his own version. He has his own personal army.
A bunch of guys who like are specialized in asking the question. So what are you talking about?
Do you know Kendrick Lamar?
No, I think that like the LeBron like thing, it does seem pretty clear that like it's just like it's Miami, Cleveland, or it's just going to be a very uncomfortable year in Los Angeles, and I suspect it'll just be the uncomfortable year in Los Angeles. Yeah, I was
going to say, it feels
like what the fuck else is there going to be?
Yeah,
it just feels like he's going.
He'll be like Luka's here, like there's a floor, and it doesn't.
And where LeBron is smart enough is that he will everybody will put a nice face on it, and Luka will probably have a career year because he needs to he has. He probably has like a Nico Harrison like cutout. Like he's like throwing knives at that.
But by the way, did you hear the report we were talking about earlier that I thought was literally a bit? That was like LeBron would be interested with playing with Kyrie, Cooper Flag, and Anthony Davis in Dallas. And I was like, am I high? What the fuck is happening right now? How is this a real report?
That would be a fucking movie.
LeBron's been attached to Dallas a few different times.
I mean, that's actually that's a good example of a city I think he could go to, both because like it's a real place. I mean, loath as I am to admit it, having been there, and not like
everyone says Dallas sucks. Yeah.
It does, but like it's like a major like population wise and like that like it's the financial and business, it's the commercial capital of Texas. Like there's a reason it still has this fucking basketball
team. So we
team.
blow off Canada, but Texas is legit.
I'm not yes, Texas. Texas is literally isn't even a commentary on Canada. Texas isn't even a country, and it blows that shit out the water.
We should make it its own country.
Okay, it was a country. Six Flags over Texas. The Texas Republic.
I know. No, we shouldn't make it its own country. We should give it back to Mexico.
Fair.
There we go.
I agree with that.
That would be my call. Yeah, like I would love for that. That's my like recommendation.
By the way, Trump would absolutely do that for Scheinbaum. That they have like a very Mark Antony Cleopatra.
Yeah, so this is the thing. We have to incept the like Adelson Trump split. We really need him to turn on Israel.
LeBron
telling then the Adelson split with him, and he's like, "All right, like I'm giving your precious Texas to the Mexicans."
LeBron telling Miriam Adelson, before happy International Women's Day.
That would be a movie.
He's leaning over to her. Oh, by the way, yeah, she definitely celebrates that. So, by the way, I just want to. I've talked about this before. I don't know if I've ever talked about it on stream, but I think about like my dad was a really good athlete. I'm a terrible athlete because my mom's a bad athlete. I'm using this.
Mom.
What's that?
I'm defending Miss Bro, dude.
No, she would admit it. She would 100% admit that. The reason I bring this up is to parallel to LeBron James,
okay,
who is the greatest athlete I've ever seen in my entire life, and his kids are just like pretty good.
I mean, Bronny made the league.
The Vanna James is like as athletic as me, is what I'm trying to say.
I just want to point out for all our women listeners, I'm not blaming women. I think women lift up men and they hold up the sky. And Trill is this is misogyny, bro, dude. Is doing this.
Yeah, I'm bringing it.
You actually,
look, I'm not saying that doesn't exist in reverse too.
Yeah. Okay, I'll give you an example of another city, of another place LeBron could go to, like franchise associations aside. but like a place where you could see like LeBron James like being like king of the cat, you know, like balling out, like Atlanta. Like to me, that would be like a good example
at Magic
of, like,
City.
Like it's a place also where it's insane that they've had a shitty basketball scene.
We've
it's
talked
so
about this
fucked
before.
up.
It has like cultural cachet.
Exactly.
But it doesn't have. It is weird that like Houston is kind of has a similar, you know, like has more gravitas than Atlanta does in terms of being able to get like free agents and guys get traded there and whatever. Whereas Atlanta doesn't.
Taxes though.
Maybe, I don't know, but I don't think Georgia probably has.
No, I don't think Georgia's not exactly a high tax state.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I think it's more that like both Houston and Atlanta are extraordinarily black cities. Like,
well,
like,
that's what I'm
simple.
trying to say is that like that is why I would figure that more NBA players would want to play there. But on top of that, I guess it's also the fact that the Rockets have just been kind of run well, maybe is another point of this, whereas Atlanta's kind of been like it's forever.
Exactly. It's just about the fact that like the Rockets are like, I mean, they have a ring from the 90s, you know, they have like they're not like
they've been one of the best teams in the NBA for 15 years.
Like
they just
for longer even. I mean,
yeah.
Like as long as I've had like a memory, I think that like they've never been like turbo ass for long stretches at a time. Whereas like Atlanta is I mean,
there's
like
potential there.
Now I mean, I think now that it's like, you know, if they were like in a Sun situation, I still, you know, like I would still write it off. But like, yeah, like there's potential there. You could getting a deep playoff run in Atlanta would be like a pretty cool accomplishment. I don't know.
Like a real one.
Standards are low.
Well, they did. So there was a window for this, and they did get Dwight Howard the last time that happened. It just he was kind of
also went to Houston. Yeah,
and that's what I'm saying. He was just kind of washed at that point, and so it was like kind of they bet badly because Al Horford, like they basically chose Dwight Howard over Al Horford, but like people forget he was like 3 years removed from his MVP season. Like he was like that was like a pretty big get.
And the Hawks did have that one team that was like Korver, Mills. No.
Yeah,
Millsap.
Korver, Millsap, Damari Carroll, Jeff Teague, and Horford.
Yeah.
Which was like as good of a like that was to me that's like a 2K team to me.
Yeah. But the funniest
that
part
team
about
is the
that
13 seed in today's East.
Well, but that's the thing is that people use it to slander like for example, like if a team you hate is doing well in a season, like for example, the Thunder this year, everyone's like, oh, new Hawks just dropped, or
Correct.
The Celtics last year when everyone was saying, oh, new Hawks,
Incorrect.
whatever. But the thing is that I do think that the quality of the league and the quality of the East specifically back then was like you could literally make the Eastern Conference Finals while having just a bunch of pretty good players. Like Horford was legitimately very good. They complemented each other very well. But nowadays you either have to have like an insanely stacked roster or you have to have the best player plus a pretty good roster. You can't even carry the way that LeBron did back there. Now, obviously LeBron's a different level from the large majority of players, but you can't carry like Giannis is going to struggle even in this East next year with a bunch of like that team's terrible.
Yeah, that
going into next year, they're really going to struggle unless
didn't they just sign somebody?
No one good.
Nobody good.
Who was their best?
No. I mean, like today.
I'm questioning who they brought back. Kevin Porter Jr. I don't. They brought back Portis.
They lost Brook Lopez.
Who is the Serbian guy they drafted? Sam. Bobolchov,
yeah,
whatever his name is.
Yeah,
everyone was telling me this guy matters. I'm like, this guy is not.
Dude, he's gonna be a fucking problem. You watch.
I saw braces on, bro.
Look at a photo of that man. There's no way, no chance.
Nah, this is we're being disrespectful to the Eastern
I'm judging
Europeans.
a book by its cover.
No.
I guess that is like kind of like people really. It makes me appreciate how much people were discounting like the Nuggets before this playoff run. Because it turns out that like they were a bit. I mean, they stretched the Thunder pretty hard.
Sure.
And like that was like a team that had like some like real
fraudulent,
shitters.
As Sam would say,
yeah, exactly. Like around,
I mean,
you know, like
they have the best player in the league though. That was like when LeBron was pushing like the 08 Celtics to 7 games with fucking Wally Zerbiak and Mo Williams.
Yeah.
I still remember. I have like a memory of
Aaron
like being
Gordon's
young and like getting a notification from like ESPN that like the Cavs are making their big move. they're helping out LeBron James by getting Anton Jameson.
I remember that.
Yeah.
And I remember
like a 14. I was like, "Yep, that's it."
Yeah, exactly. I just remember the Sports Center discourse about this.
Yeah.
Oh,
all right, so
God.
I just want to. I did this. I had the same exact thing happen, but specifically me when we traded for Chris Webber. When I was like 14 or 15, I was like, oh my God, we're going to win the finals. Like Chris Webber's one of my favorite players in the NBA. And then I found out he had fracture knee surgery like a year before. And he was just like completely washed. And he got to the Sixers and I was like, oh no, he's bad now, which we did time and time again. It's literally all the Sixers ever do is just get guys who are just after they fall off the cliff. Elton Brand, Al Horford turned out not to be
Andrew
washed,
Bynum.
but Paul George maybe like
Andrew Bynum.
Yeah, Andrew Bynum certainly was.
Yeah, that was the. All right.
I
think I'm going to call it there. I have to go. Okay. I have to go run. But I will see Will's nasty little
pervert trade here.
All
right.
So wow, somebody found a use for Pat Connaughton.
The landlord himself. You know that he's a huge landlord, right, Noah?
Yes, I actually did learn that. Like I was reading his Wikipedia recently, and I saw that, and I was like, oh, like that it came up that like he has received criticism for.
Oh my!
I was going to say CJ McCollum. CJ McCollum, not TJ McConnell. CJ McCollum and him have gone in on real estate ventures together. That's the guy who runs the players union.
I hope that you guys all remember to tip your landlord today, right? When you pay rent, like
always do.
Yeah,
they're trying to sell my house for the second time in 3 years. I gotta thank them.
Since Zoran won today, I upped it to 70 just because like everybody's nervous, you know. Like,
of course,
want to show them I stand with them.
Yeah. Solidarity with all the landlords, especially the ones in New York.
Yeah, you tip it 35% for you younger guys who don't know it whenever you pay rent. So
gotcha. Yeah, I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah.
All right, so this you can leave, Sam, if you.
Okay, I am out of here. All right, later, fellas.
Bye. All right, so it's the Nets. The half of this trade's already happened. Will has informed me. Some Al Horford has received interest from the Celtics, Warriors, Knicks, Nuggets, and Cavs. So there you go. So one of the good teams is going to get Al Horford, or he goes back to the Celtics because the Celtics are
nasty ring chasing.
I don't really think he even needs it. He already won a title. Like I think he's just going to do whatever he wants. But
no. Al Horford's going to be a Knick.
It's possible. I mean, I think he actually would be really good for you guys.
He would be I would love to see him instead of Precious Achiuwa out there.
And he absolutely has the cat connection too, because they're both Dominican Republic basketball guys. But all right. So the Nets get Dame, Pat Connaughton, and Chris Livingston. Plus, this is perverted already. The Nuggets pick they already got a pick and a swap from the Bucks, and then the Nuggets get Cam Johnson. The Bucks get Michael Porter Jr. and Nick Claxton. Where do we begin with this one? So Michael Porter Jr. plays the 3 on the Bucks with Giannis and Nick Claxton. This is perverted, Will. I don't think the Bucks are good enough to do this.
Yeah.
I guess it would make them significantly better in theory. But then, what is Kuzma the shooting guard? They just play a lineup all with 6'8" and up
point
guys.
Giannis.
Let's go. I would love to see that.
Oh, he's a A+ on the Zodiac sign synergy with the Hawks.
Let's go. Zodiac GM.
I hate that shit. I'm not gonna lie.
I know. Do you think the slop is pretty much dried up? I feel like we probably got the large majority of it.
Yeah, you've lost 100 viewers.
Yeah.
So,
it's okay. They can go fuck themselves.
Yeah.
It's all right. If anything big happens, I'm gonna hop back on here anyway. So.
Yeah, like if the fucking Russell Westbrook to the Knicks.
Yeah, of course. If that slop drops, I will hop back on. Yeah.
Yeah, you fucking better.
Perfect. Yeah, he would lose them a playoff series. So
Russell Westbrook to MSG is like Titanic leaving the port. You just fucking know, like the movie's rolling, and you just know something's coming.
Don't do it. I mean, I feel like we've gotten this rumor for like 7 years that Westbrook could go to the Knicks, and it just doesn't make any sense.
No.
Yeah, that's exactly it. New York would love to, like Westbrook would drive like in the
Oh
way
my
that I
God.
actually think that like Mike Brown being like an argumentative shit is like perfect for New York,
Mhm.
and that actually like a lot of like the external facing stuff that like Tibbs refused to do, like Brown would be pretty good at. But like the like Russell Westbrook would he's done such a good job. Like a few years ago, it just like it used to just be constant headlines about like him and everybody hating him and everybody being mad at
Well,
him and him being mad at them. And it's like,
also
yeah,
back to
send
the
him to
Mike
New
Brown
York City.
thing.
Great fucking idea.
The Mike Brown thing, at a minimum, the thing with Mike Brown is he's one of those coaches where you really only have like a 1 to 2 year window before he starts to piss off the players. But he is a good offensive mind. And that's exactly what the Knicks need. And your guys' window is the next 2 years.
Correct.
Anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's like why I didn't lose like the Tibbs thing was like he got fired because everybody talked shit about him right after the season was over when everybody talked shit about a coach. And
Sure.
Dolan was like, let's move on it. But I don't think that like, and then they went about like this insane, embarrassing hunt. But it is
Right.
like, I don't disagree with the like decision of like, yeah, like the players, everybody seemed like they didn't get along with Tibbs. I don't think you win a ring if everybody's pissy with the like, pissed at the coach or whatever, even if they shouldn't be because they're just pissy themselves. You know, it's like,
No, I agree.
It's just like this is the art, not the science of it.
Well, this is what we talked about when you came on the podcast about like Nick Nurse and Tibbs and how it's the second you hire them, the clock starts to tick and you need to maximize that window as much as possible. But now the Knicks are in a situation where they're probably going to, I honestly wouldn't hate Taylor Jenkins or Mike Brown for you guys. Like, I think
they said that it doesn't sound like Jenkins is getting another interview.
Oh,
I think
wow.
the Jenkins thing that worries me was just that like when he left the Grizzlies and like the news was like, and like the, like, you know, the anonymously sourced reporting was coming out saying like why he left. And it was like the players had just started tuning him out.
Sure.
And there was like a sense of like part of like what the Knicks players like vocalizing through the press, what they want is a coach who's a player's coach, which is part of why that whole Jason Kidd thing became so embarrassing. But it's like, all right, like I'm not going to say that Mike Brown is like a player's best friend.
No, he is
like,
not.
But I would much rather have, which is fine. But
he's a tactical guy. That's
exactly. And it's like that.
Jenkins is like Jenkins is like he's Budenholzer's like protege.
Yeah, I was going to say
sort
he
of
came
that,
up
like,
under him.
Yeah.
I just don't think he like this is like a roster of like old, like it's not a thing to build. It's not like a new, like Brown seems like he can hack it. I think if they choke, it's going to be because like the guys hate each other and they were choking it down last season.
Right. And now there's no coach. There's no common enemy essentially where like you could be like, well, Tibbs is kind of pissing. like sometimes you could just bitch about the coach together. And then you ever had a shitty job where like you have a coworker everyone hates. And then when that coworker leaves, you're like, do we even really like each other or we all just hate them together?
And I'd also add that like it's like there's still just like this unresolved, like it's, you know, like the like what is Kristaps mystery illness of the like Knicks was like is Mikal Bridges a bad fit or is he bad or is he bad? like that's the mystery.
Does
and
he
I feel like
does he have an autoimmune disease of the mind?
Yeah, did some demon take crossing the East River take his fucking 3-point shooting away?
All right. Yeah, no, I don't, to be clear for all the Sixers fans in the chat asking, I don't think the Sixers are doing any moves until they get the Grimes deal done. Maybe a veterans minimum signing. Last year, the Paul George move, I had to wake up at 2 a.m. to I didn't stream, but I saw the news at 2 or 3 a.m. last year. So I think we'll get more news overnight. We'll probably get a few more signings tomorrow. Maybe a few more trades. Honestly, people have been complaining because the free agency obviously sucks, but there have been more trades this offseason than any offseason I can remember. There is no free agency.
I was about to say also, like, this is like one of the things I've not like really understood about like the discourse around the aprons and how much everybody hates the new CBA, which like fine, it's not easy to understand. I barely understand it. Like
I don't.
I hate thinking. Fine, I get it, but it does seem that like the way it's structured, it just means that like like the free agency isn't. I mean, this year at least is not like spicy, but that like teams now actually have like extreme incentives to be very creative in deal making. And that like the deal making is not inhibited at all. It's just that like you have like it just rewards perversion. It rewards like thinking about like who's willing to be the pain piggy in a 3-way, who's willing.
It literally it literally is what we talked about earlier, where the best GMs are the ones who are just calling the fucking idiot GMs and like being like, hey, let's rope them into this and see if we can, take advantage of them. But
it's funny now the tables have turned for the Utah Jazz.
Danny Ainge is finally paying for his crime.
Exactly.
We're becoming a top and bottom league is a good one.
Before we go, Noah, do you think Cuomo in like his last ditch ever as like the independent candidate, he goes on the slop?
Mason, what?
Mason.
What are people talking about?
Mason's Children by the Grateful Dead.
Mason Plumlee
to the Hornets.
They're creating they're the character team, all the white guys. Mason Plumlee going back to the Hornets.
God.
Gross. Wait, did he ever play? Did he played on the Hornets?
He did play for the Hornets, yeah.
Yeah, because he definitely did. Or was it Cody Zeller?
No, they were together. They were the Twin Towers.
Okay, yeah, gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
But...
No,
well, I guess he replaces Williams.
Well, I guess. I mean, they just drafted Kalkbrenner. Did you see after the draft, Noah, that they were like, they're going after all character guys? And I'm like, after you draft 3 white guys, you probably shouldn't be putting that out into the they did draft Sion James, who isn't white, but
their GM, like, their GM is black.
Say it that way. Yeah. Also, to be clear, their GM is at least black.
I think we all know the team this year that drafted on character. Okay,
who's that?
The Nets, duh.
Oh.
Come on, sorry. I thought it was a bit more. I thought
cherry
it was a bit obvious.
Cherry on top of the stream right there.
All right, but real quick. Do you think Cuomo, like last ditch ever to like get voters, like an independent candidate, long shot, he goes on the Roommates podcast with Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart?
I think so. All right, you ask a joking question, I give you a serious answer. No, because the third wheel on that podcast is Tommy Alter, son of Jonathan Alter, like political columnist.
He's adjacent to. He's not the.
He's not the host. Sorry, he's like their pal.
No, he's a Tommy Alter variant.
I know Tommy.
Yeah, no, but he's the guy. Sorry, I thought it was because I don't listen to that shit. But I assumed he did it, and I just assumed that he would be like a that essentially they would know somebody who knows enough to tell them no.
Yeah, right. They would be in tune to know. Well. Tommy did interview Obama. I will just say that much. Yeah, he did with Tyrese Halliburton. Yeah,
right.
Tommy, Tommy is like an entourage character. Like he's just always around famous people. He literally
That's literally why I assumed he does that podcast.
Yeah. No. He's good friends with Mikal Bridges. Him and Mikal Bridges are good friends. He's friends with like Trey Murphy, Mikal Bridges. He had Stav on his podcast recently too, so I guess he's cool with him. He's cool with Bezos and Mero. Every time I literally am like, how do I DM'd him and was like, how do you get these people on your how do you get this group together? It was Bomani Jones, Stav, and Trey Murphy was the last big podcast they did in this group, which is like the most hilarious combination of random fucking people.
Yeah, I think the Roommates pod are getting Josh Shapiro.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, he is. Well, he's probably knows them because he's a Philly guy. The Nova connection.
That or the Pope. They get. I mean, like that's the
sure.
that would be like the big.
Pope is going on Pardon My Take for sure. He's a Chicago guy.
Pope's hanging with Frank the Tank, actually.
The Pope's doing pizza reviews. All right. Anyway, this is a good place to end it. Thanks for coming on, Noah. Thanks for coming on, Peter.
Yes.
Yeah. If there's any more slop, I'll hop back on. And it's got to be a pretty big slop, though. I'll probably be back tomorrow if not. So, peace.
Right. Bye.